And there we go. Hopefully everyone can hear it on the other end of the stream because I cannot tell because I don't want to have my voice mimicking through. But we're back again with RambleCast. And once again, I have my special guest, Big Bruh here.
What's good, y'all? How you doing? I'm back finally.
Yeah, man, we just a lot of things been going on from me being sick into Mr. Mr. Big here having dealing with his own personal stuff. But now we're back here to fuck. I forgot that. I don't know that quote. I had it in my head. We're back here again. How did that quote? I can't remember how that quote goes. Now I just now make myself look like an idiot on here. Oh well. But
Yeah, that's
oh yeah. Now I remember we're back here again to play for you. Is that
there we go.
yeah? But today on this one we will be talking about well, as the title says, being black and trying to fit into pop culture and just trying to fit in general when it comes to all this stuff.
Whew. It's gonna get deep, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you.
It probably will. So, do you want to start off with this? Because I know when I brought it up to you, you seemed really interested in it.
You know what? I'm gonna let you start, and I'll follow off for you.
Okay. Well, I started off with this idea for this is because of just my own personal experiences and just being in maybe some other discords and stuff like that, and my own, like I said, life experiences being a black man and like trying to fit into like all these different things. Like first off, trying to fit
Mm-hmm.
with fit in with groups like friend groups, and now trying to fit into pop culture, and that's a whole that I feel like that's a whole nother battle compared to just trying to fit in, just like trying to make friends normally,
Ain't that the truth?
because people will judge you fast, especially if you're. Cause I mean, I will say this isn't just like a black problem. This is like a race problem and a gender problem.
Oh yeah, especially that.
Like I know one thing I'll start off with is like I don't know, should I start the hip hardball of like how bad it is when it comes to cosplay?
Yeah.
Because cosplay, I tell you right now, I've had plenty of experiences of people saying, "Hey, why don't you dress up as said black character here? Because you're black." And you're like static. Like I've had plenty of people say, "Oh, why not do Static Shock?" And I'm like, Static. It's not my favorite character. I like him, but I want to dress up as someone I like I favorite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But you're the black guy. You have to dress up as the black character. I think
Ah,
the only time I've ever dressed up as a black character was when I decided to be funny and dress up as Mr. Game and Watch.
that's worse.
You know what's even funnier is that I went to a con for that, and the first people to realize who I was a
Mm-hmm.
group of black kids. Immediately, the
Oh,
moment they saw me with the hammer and the thing, they're like, "Oh, there's Mr. Game Watch over there."
that's just funny.
I know other white people though was like having some trouble. They're like, "Are you?" I'm like, "You can just say it. I don't care. Like, I'm obviously doing this on purpose." Sometimes people think like they were like kind of scared to answer. I'm like, I didn't do this to be kind of scary. I did this because no, it's very obvious what I'm doing. Have you had any experiences with that?
I because I never really got to like cosplay as much as I want to, not really. But I felt like if I had the opportunity to, I feel like I would have had that whole thing because I've seen so many wild situations with people in cosplay, whether it's in real life, with Twitter, especially on Twitter. Oh my god. it
Tw-
it's just insane to me how it's kind of like we just want to dress up as our favorite characters regardless of race or even what the hell they are, like you with the Game and Watch example. So it's kind of just like we just want to do whatever we want to do. Race shouldn't be a factor in it.
yeah.
And I feel like the first people who are really gonna make it a whole race thing are ironically the people who just like, say, hey, dress up how you want, be who you want. That's the whole point of cosplay. Why is that black man Link? So
Man,
it,
that's a whole nother ramble topic of people who are saying this stuff but are actually pretty racist themselves.
exactly. So like, I felt like I probably would have dealt with that when it came to if I like was at that convention dressed up as the one I saw when I with some friends in DC dressing up as Fat Gum and everything
Mm-hmm.
because Fat Gum, one of my favorite characters in My Hero, and I was like, I'm a big guy, I love this character. Let me get the fit, the hoodie, all that stuff, and that's it. I'm set for life. But like barely got a chance to do it because of situation. That's the point.
Yeah.
I guess I guess if there was way I could like go off of, like, I agree with the whole like trying to like find where you fit in with like friend groups and stuff, because we're going back to childhood real quick, because like as a kid, as a young kid anyways, you don't really care about that stuff. It's kind of just like, hey, whoever's cool with me, good with me, we're friends, we're cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then middle school and high school happened. And that's when life took a turn for me. Holy shit. It was like I'm trying to fit in with like, the with like, a lot of black students in middle school and everything. And it's like, to them, I'm not black enough,
Mm.
because I quote unquote speak well, or, I just like, I have a certain dialect that's just not the same as theirs and everything. And it's kind of just like,
Yeah.
damn, is this my identity crisis right now? What the hell?
Surprisingly, I never experienced that with the black kids. At least in my grade, anyway. I didn't deal with like the younger kids, but a lot of them like they knew who I was, but they didn't really treat me differently. They're kind of just. I didn't hang out with them because I didn't fit in with them. I wasn't like them in like that way, but like
Mm,
I was my own like you kind of like well spoken stuff like that. Like my personality didn't vibe with theirs. I didn't really hang out with them. I had like one actually I only had one black friend throughout my whole school life until college. And like he
mm.
was kind of like me in that way where we're both kind of just different from everyone else.
Oh
But
yeah.
did you let me ask you cuz I know I'm almost certain you experienced it. Did you have people calling you white because of how you act?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. People love to say that. White people love to
Oh
say, "Man, you're pretty
god.
white."
Y'all hear y'all hear somebody have like a certain dialect or like, tone in their voice, and if it sounds just a slight bit intelligent, you say it sounds like, first off, if y'all been to Missouri, I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, not all white people sound like that. Second off, like, why would we like associate it with that, knowing damn well that's like makes people feel insecure? And like I said, me going through my weird identity crisis with like the people I'm hanging out with and being told I sound white because of that. So it's just like,
Oh
what the
yeah,
hell?
I
What's
went
that
through that.
about me?
I went through that too. I'm pretty sure we're not the only black people who probably go through that, especially if you go to an area that's
Mhm.
mostly populated with white kids.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like it's you're gonna like anyone who like I'm trying to find a way to word it that doesn't sound bad because like not ghetto or not loud, like not loud spoken or ghetto, like kind of like that's the best way I can think of it, the way to
Oh
describe it.
yeah. Yeah, no, because like that's unfortunately what a lot of people associate with, especially with mainstream television. Oh my god, and especially back in the day and everything. So it's kind of like if you talked a certain way, like how you and I would talk and everything, it's kind of just like they're just like ready to throw you under the bus and be like, "Oh, that sounds about white to me." Ugh.
I know I found it so weird because like I didn't really learn how like those are more just how you speak and not really part of the race is when I got in further. Well, I actually got into college because I tell you right now, people anyone who says college is a waste of time, no man, college does help you with one thing, and that's helping you get some life experience with interacting with
Yeah,
people from different parts of the world or different parts of the country.
ain't that the truth?
Because
And this is
go ahead.
wild.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, I was just gonna say, yeah, no, it was just this is wild because it was like for like college and everything, it does give you like a lot of life experiences. Except for mine, for some reason, I was kind of just stuck talking about the academic stuff, unless I was like doing the stuff where I'd have to be on my own, whether it be volunteer work or otherwise. But
Uh,
that's a whole story for another day.
yeah.
But go on.
But because I've thought about it when I was in college. I'm like, yeah, I did meet a white girl who spoke ghetto. Like she like
Mm.
I got in the college, and like I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, and as I got further in, I learned like the reason why some people speak certain dialect is from where they grow up, or who they hang around. And since I
Mm.
didn't hang like if I lived probably where me and my mom could have lived in the west side or east side, I probably my dialect probably would be somewhat different. And like her, she probably where she grew up and probably where she hanged out with, because she mostly hanged out with black kids. So to her, she probably eventually picked up that dialect as she got older. So it's not like a black thing. It's more of just it's just where you live, really.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Nah, I agree because it's like I won't lie, and this is like falling under like the category of where you live and everything. Because for the longest time, I mostly spoke like using metaphors that my parents would use because at the time I was a very introverted kid and I really know what a lot of kids my age would say and do for like certain slang and everything. So it's like I'm quoting old school slang my parents would use from like the 80s and 90s, especially my sister. So it was like I would be saying things like old school like slang and a lot of kids just would not know what I'm saying half the time. So it's like in a weird way, I was out of touch at like the age of like 15 or so. So
I was
yeah,
like, what slang did he use? Because I'm thinking, I'm like, I still remember kids using certain slang that you only hear probably in the '90s and '80s, like young blood and stuff like that.
yeah, like young blood and everything. Or it's like I'd be like what. I'd be like saying like things like certain things that's just like typical like hey what's good how you doing all that stuff,
Yeah,
and then sometimes I just I just be quoting the Martin Lawrence show or something like that, and literally nobody knows what I'm saying or what I'm even trying to say and everything.
yeah.
I'm like, God, I'm out of touch here. What the hell?
But again, I'm not really good with slang anyway because I'm already feeling like a boomer where I hear these young kids say certain things and I'm like, wait, that's a slang? I don't get it. And I'm like, am I old? I'm like, I'm only 27. I shouldn't feel this old.
It's like that sometimes. It's like because I I would also like think of like sometimes it is partially like where a lot of people grew up and everything. Because
Yeah,
I've seen like a lot of white boys like just pretty much talk about how just pretty much talk how they are. It's not them trying to be black. That's just where they grew up.
yeah,
Sometimes they just get that from living in a melting pot of like a neighborhood and everything because they pick up the slang from like their neighbors or their friends and all that stuff.
I will say there was one.
And
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know. I was just gonna say like it was just like fall under that
Yeah,
that weird umbrella where I learned the difference between someone talking in like slang or street versus someone who's literally trying so hard to be black or a black scent, if you
yeah,
will.
yeah. Like a black weeaboo, pretty much.
Ugh, yep.
But I actually there was a YouTuber I watched a few times and mostly through like him doing other videos. His name was like Cartoons. I for the longest time I thought he was black because of how he spoke. Like he really sounded like I thought he was a black man. But then I saw him like, oh, you're white. Holy shit!
Yup.
Like it's and not him like any like I said, it's not him forcing it. That is legitimately how he talks.
Oh yeah.
Like he has the deepest voice. You would think the moment you're like, oh yeah, there's a black guy, and you see him like what? Your whole mind will start to explode because you're like you'll have to question everything.
Right.
Yeah, but
It,
I never did experience what you talked about earlier, like the whole I'm don't look black enough. Luckily, I never experienced that.
oh yeah, nah. It was just always like I said, mostly based on like how I talked or how I acted and everything. But I guess as far as like that, I would just like learn the thing about just like just kind of just being myself. Learn like, hey, this is how I talk, this is how I am, and this is just me. And I also would say like with like certain friend groups and stuff. Like I said, it was kind of weird because it started off like, okay, I got this one friend. He's white, but he's cool with me and everything. And then I started having like other friends or associates, I would say nowadays, who would just like, come up with me and hang and all that stuff. And then as I got older, I realized some folks get a little too comfy with you
So
about that.
like just saying the N word around you, being like, oh, we're cool, right? You're
Yep.
like, nah. No, we're not
You
cool
know,
like that.
and then that was my problem. I used to just like let so many folks get away with saying that, but then I just realized, hey, listen, how you doing? Don't do that, and also stop touching my hair,
Yeah.
especially just in all due
Well,
respect, you white.
do you know why they do that? Like, if like one of the rumors of it, or I don't know where it came from, but I would like to know so I could tell that person you made a problem for all black people here. Like that apparently touching a hair gives you like a wish or magic or something like that. I'm like, what?
I
Like,
don't know who said that. I wish I could knock him upside the head. Like, why you do this?
I'm
Like,
like,
why you set us up like this?
I'm like, man, if I touching a hair was magic and could grant us wishes, would you think slavery would have happened, motherfucker? Because you could, oh.
If touching our hair gave us magic, man, white supremacy would have been a whole problem that would have been water under the bridge a long time ago. But I ain't gonna get into that right now. Damn.
No, man, we when our hair doesn't work like that. And like, I think another thing is just it feels different, and I do get, like, but don't really get it because yeah, I've touched other people's hair, but I don't like feel like I touched my hair before because I kind of like the feeling, but I don't like other people touching my hair because I'm like, nah, nah, unless we're dating, don't touch me.
It's just my hair. It is nothing special. Yes, I love it. I appreciate it. I take care of it. Yes, it is different from yours, obviously, but it's like, this ain't a petting zoo. And even if it is, you best be paying for that fee. $50 a pat. So I don't
$50 being a little too nice. I'm not $50. I'll be like 100
there you go.
because
Even
you're touching another person without permission. You better give me some type of compensation. I'll start saying some stuff.
oh yeah, like God Lord, run me my reparations. Just I don't know why that's a whole thing. And I know it's a thing that still happens. And it's just like,
I
can y'all
bet
just what?
I'm not sure how much it's still like. I know it probably still happens, but I'm not sure if it still happens like when you get older or not. Because I know it stopped happening once I went to college. Like no one touched my head after that. Everyone stopped doing that.
I feel like it's more of like a kids to teenagers type of thing. Because it's like, if a grown person has to touch your hair, first off, why? Second, don't even come near me unless you just don't want that. If you want that hand, do not touch my hair.
Yeah.
So it's like kids are curious, kind of stupid, but also very curious. So they want to know, or otherwise, I just don't get it at all. Why folks would want to do that?
I really don't know where it started. Like it just that's one of those really confusing ones. Like
Hmm.
don't touch me. Like what the, like of course like fitting in like going back into like the fitting in thing. I let them do a lot of things to me because I wanted to fit in because I'm like hey, like
Hmm.
yeah they're making racist jokes at me because I'm the only black kid who won't you know break their nose and their arm because they know every other black kid besides me and this other one will literally probably break your neck.
Yep.
But you know, I just let it happen. The person I am now. Now I probably would say you touch me again, I might break your neck. I'll give you a slight threat before I do something.
It's to me it's less than a threat. It's like literally touch my hair, you gonna be on your back. That's all I can say. Like God, I don't even know. And and I agree, and I feel you. Like on the whole, like just letting folks because I I had this whole problem where, and this is partially some of my teachers' fault, but it's mostly to do with the school in general.
Hmm.
They kind of wanted me to be a little bit more quote unquote patient or, and I hate to use this word, submissive when it comes to like me trying to deal with my conflicts. It's kind of like, oh, someone bullies you or makes you feel uncomfortable. Hey, just ignore them and tell a teacher. All right, I did that. They're still doing it though. You could give them all the punishments you want. They're still doing it. And it's like they don't acknowledge the fact that that's a problem. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I asked my parents, and my parents, God bless them, they're from the streets. They're from New York. They're going to tell me straight up, son, kick their ass. It's like, okay,
I
now do just that.
I try not to let the conflict come up because I'm like, I don't want to do something because I've already got an in-school suspension because I punched a kid because they bullied me for a whole year and I punched one of them. Mind you, I also said I'll kill you, but still they bullied me for a whole year and I really didn't mean that because I was in 5th grade. I kind of just said that more threateningly, but I'm not gonna really do it because I'm like a 5th grader. I don't care. It's just like a word to me.
Nah, that happens. I try not to fight, but it's you. But if it's my last option, then
I've
scroll up, cuz. Ugh,
I mostly, but
ugh.
my mom is also from the streets to a degree because
Mm-hmm.
her options were always fighting when she told me when she was a kid. Like
Mm-hmm.
fighting to the point of I still remember one of my friends back in like middle school grew up. His mom also grew up with my mom, and he told me how one time his mom pissed off my mom, and my mom's like, "Oh, we're gonna fight," and he told me his mom had trained, like did like a training montage because she's like, "Oh, that girl's gonna beat my ass if I don't train." But the next day they didn't fight because my mom's like, "Oh no, we're square," and I'm like, yeah. Also, my mom is a very scary woman. Like, I don't want her because I'm always afraid. I'm like, Mom, you're gonna cuss someone out, and I'm really more worried that you're gonna punch someone. Mind you, the person I will believe deserves it, but I don't want you to do that because that's jail. That I don't want you to have a prison record or any type of record just because of someone being a dumbass to me. Like, I get it, and I'm your son, and I hope that actually, you know what? I think about all the stuff she did now, and I realize I am going to grow up to be like that, and I now know what workarounds my kids because I know the workarounds around her. Oh god, being a black parent is gonna be so fucking. Oh Jesus, I'm gonna be threatening people.
I swear, and I always said this to my homies, like, when I'm a dad, when I do become a dad, I will say with my full chest, listen, I want to handle this in the most professional and cool, calm way possible. But I will rain down hell, fire, and brimstone on this school if I hear y'all actually defending these little ass kids because my daughter decided to like fight back.
I'm,
Please don't give me that bullshit.
I'm actually more worried also because of the fact because this is another thing when it comes to like trying to fit in being black and everything is like how you brought up how like saying not black enough and stuff like that. I'm also worried because more than likely like who I am as a person, like who I'm attracted to and everything. My kid's more likely going to be mixed of something of like someone else. So, and that's one thing that worries me because kids do for some reason I still will never get it as how like when it comes to being black how we are really racist too within our own group and I'm like why are we like this why are we like this.
Eh, it's just like that, unfortunately. Because literally, we either A, we gotta fight each other, or we gotta fight somebody. And it's like it's like anytime we come together as a unit, somebody's got a problem with that, and they gotta shut that shit down,
Oh yeah, you're right.
even when it's peaceful.
You're right.
and and it's like, I've seen this stuff before. I know it's not just a lot of us in our communities
Yeah, it's
because
like a lot of communities for some
like
reason.
like like honestly, hell, anytime people be like, apparently like nowadays people don't even count like the Irish as white anymore, and I'm like, damn, y'all really find over who's the real white people now.
I'm not that surprised because that was like that back in the 40s and maybe even before that. How like Irish and Scottish people when they came to the Americas they were treated like garbage.
Yeah, my point exactly. It's like I thought. It's like, wait, don't we have the same skin color? Yeah, but you got different accents, so you gotta go, cause
You gotta go back to where you came from. Go back to playing your bagpipes.
go back to wearing kilts.
I'm, so,
What the hell?
I'm sorry for the people of those countries and cultures. We are not really making fun of you. We actually feel bad. Do not cancel us, please.
I genuinely feel bad for y'all. But at the same time, I assure you, you don't want to be seen as white either. That comes with its own bag of problems. Ah,
And,
but I guess to put the topic back on hand,
yeah.
Another thing I kind of just like noticed when it comes to like being growing up black and kind of being somewhat different is how people are going to react to you or react towards you when it comes to like certain mediums or like just certain things that you like bro, we already know when it comes to like certain things it's not within like the normalcies of what we're into. Like listen, I love anime. A lot of other niggas like basketball, and I can see why folks like basketball, but it's just not for me. And it's not even like me playing it. I just was not that big a fan of the sport. Love Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Cool niggas, cool niggas.
I never got into sports. Like I tried getting playing football, but I'm like football's not my thing, man. This sucks. And it's always weird because people are like, oh, your body's built. Oh, you should play football. I'm like, nah, man, I'm good.
That that's another sad thing too. Is like because you're big, you're black. God forbid, you're big and black, and it's just like you it's like they're gonna automatically want to put you in sports because that weird scientific theory like, oh man, black people highly advanced with their muscle mass and
Hey, man,
all that thing they got going on.
from talking to my mom and some other people about that, the reason why that's a thing is because of slavery. How we were built, like we were built for it.
Yup.
The white man
Lit,
built
lit,
us to be strong.
literally whipped us into shape. Literally. Like and then it's like you have all these sports that some of y'all aren't even that good at, but you keep us out of it because damn well if a lot of us came in there, it's like, yo, we're gonna own that court all up and down there. Oh my god,
Nah, man. Ugh.
it's just funny to me, and it's another weird form of fetishization of how like a lot of black folks are with like athletes and stuff. Because I had so many people ask me to play football, and I'm just like, listen, unless you're gonna open up a spot on that wrestling team, I don't want to play any type of sport in high school. Please.
I didn't play a single one because I'm like I already didn't like sports because of my own beliefs when it comes to like sports and like how people kind of treated it when I was growing up. So I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. I don't want to be playing sports because oh well, you're black, you should play. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Exactly. And like I said, unless you got some just trying to teach me some pro wrestling moves, nah, I'm good on that, bro.
Nah, and
Like
I'm just,
yeah, I could tackle somebody. You see me in that fight, but no, I'm not doing it.
I'm like I learned I'm actually pretty good at football, but at the same time, I'm like, nah, I'm good because I remember playing with a bunch of my friends and like I said, most of them are like well white at the time, so when they first saw me play tackle football and they all grabbed me, they're like, "Why is he going down? Why is he not going down?" And I was actually shocked. I'm like, "Why am I not falling over yet?" Like, there's four of you on me right now, but I'm not going.
I was so surprised when I was like, playing like, just play football with the homies when I was a kid. And it's just like, I'm like trying to just like, and then I finally like, hit the goal and I see all these people grabbing onto me. I'm like, oh shit, what y'all doing?
Can't do
It's like,
nothing.
I'm good. It's like, we could be good at it, but it's like you just don't want to do it.
It's just not your thing. It's not in your blood. It's like I'm good.
Exactly.
It's maybe in
And it's like,
your dad's blood or your grandfather's blood, but it skipped your generation. You're like, ah,
mhm,
nah, man, I'm good.
exactly. And it's like, I, it also doesn't help that like thank goodness too, because even my parents pretty much said like, oh yeah, we don't want you doing sports like that because I've seen what a lot of these football players be going through. Some of them do like head trauma and actually get fucked up, and I'm just like, oh no, I'm trying to protect my cranium, baby. I ain't trying to do all that.
Yeah, man.
What the hell?
Yeah,
Ugh.
no. I will say when it comes to like trying to, I will say one thing that was kind of hard, at least for me growing up in like school, was finding other black people who were also into like anime and manga and stuff like that, or would like own up to saying, yeah, I still watch cartoons. Even though I'm like 17.
Yeah, I get that. Like
It was
some,
kind of hard.
yeah, no, because it's like a lot of people. We unfortunately deal with a lot of insecure. That's just sadly what it is. Because it's like folks don't ever want to admit like, oh, you still watch cartoons, or oh, I still watch cartoons, or I just like something that just so happens to be animated. And it's like, even then, you'd be lucky to find somebody, at least a girl, who was openly admitting, yeah, I still watch movies. So it's like, nobody's gonna judge her as harshly, but it's like, oh, you a grown ass man,
Yeah.
teenager, in your late teens, still watching like animation and everything, and it's like, well,
Man, I have like
leave me then.
I have like two stories involving like the whole like that is the fact that like I do remember growing up in kindergarten and I remember liking Dragon Ball Z and none of the other kids liked it. But there was one girl who owned up was like, oh yeah, I love Dragon Ball Z because she used to carry I think a Gohan toy around.
What?
And I was just like, oh yeah, that's cool. I think she later moved on. I think
Really?
she moved away like my first when I was in first grade. I think I can't remember, but then back in high school, I did meet a whole bunch of other nerds. But I'll tell you right now, I'll tell anyone this. I'll even tell my own kid this: do not make friends who are like so blatant about how much they like about like the anime and stuff like that, because sometimes they're not sane. Because sometimes they get a little
That's an
too
understatement.
crazy with like, what they like.
That is an understatement, especially as I got into. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I just like, here's the thing. When I was in college, I pretty much was. It's the first. I'm going to go see. Hey, how many people like anime? I'm gonna join the anime club. And wow, it started off so nice, and it slowly deteriorated into something so ugly. Holy shit, I hate it there.
That's what happens with anime clubs. I think I'm almost certain. If someone made a poll, I'm pretty sure most people would say anime clubs start off pretty good at first, and then it turned to shit.
Mm.
Cause that's just I
It's
think that's
like
just a tradition. I think that's like a destiny thing of you make an anime club, it's gonna turn to shit eventually.
sad truth, and it's like I didn't always go, and it's like anytime I was like we're chilling watching anime and stuff, I met a couple of nice people, but it's like I won't lie when I say a lot of them were borderline crusty motherfuckers.
Oh
And
yeah,
just it was it was a struggle sometimes because it's like all of them watch just purely subbed anime. I'm like, okay, that's fair, that's fine, that's usually how most of us watch it. All right, I can work with this. Maybe it'll convert me a little bit to the sub genre. And then it kept going, and then they all started to get into arguments, and then they all started just. I'm not gonna lie. I think I've seen more of these guys fight over like getting a physical fights over anime characters than I have seen like the actual fight club that my school had, which was just a weird genre of like wrestling and other combat and everything. And I'm like, damn, I should have joined that club before COVID hit. Ugh.
you're like the you know that meme of blah 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 happen like if I had a nickel for every time someone said blah, I would have too. And that's kind of
Yeah.
weird. You're the second person I think I've ever met who said, "Oh yeah, my school had a fight club." You're like, "What?"
It was literally right there though. I was damn, why didn't I join the club? Because I was like, I'm still trying to learn. I'm still new to this stuff because this is before I truly embraced my love of fighting and everything like that. But that's a whole other combo later. And
Yeah,
just being in the anime club, I'm like, I I don't like this. I thought I would find my people, the people I could hang with, and like I said, it was really nice. They even had a whole cafe and everything that was cool, but damn, this place
it's
sucked.
yeah. For me, it was more on based of they were. I usually don't like using the word because it's so dead now, but they were honest to God cringe. They were
Hmm.
pretty cringe.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I think you're not that younger than me. I think big. But do you remember like the Kamala dance? I think it was called or I don't know how to say it. It was
The
a
oh the I know what you mean though, but yeah, the Cameroonian something dance. Yeah.
Yes, I remember they did that in public, and it's a very it was already like I look back and I'm like, oh, that was terrible, but then my brain fixes its memory and I'm like, oh my god, I wanted to fit in, so I also did it with them. Oh my god, if I go back at time, I would shoot myself. No,
Oh,
it's like I was
bro.
cringe, but I was cringe because I wanted to fit in. Oh no, and I'm like,
That
oh,
was
that that
uh,
that was yeah, they were cringe, man. I remember one time I said I wouldn't like. They were also actually they were the reasons why I didn't like sub that much. Like I'll watch sub if I'm that in if like the English dub comes out. Like back when
mm-hmm.
back when we didn't have simul like both dub and sub coming out at the same time. Like I
Oh yes, I
remember I was someone who would watch the sub if I'm like I like the anime enough after watching dub. I'm like, okay, I need to watch more episodes because the dub's gonna take too long. Let me watch the sub episodes. But
oh
Jesus
yeah, no,
Christ, they were on the boat of no fuck dub, it's bad. And I'm like,
no matter how good the voice actors were.
and it's like, man, you guys didn't watch a '90s anime, did you?
it's it's also like I'm not gonna lie, and I really want to just be more open minded. Yeah, I also like really got into subs. Like, I really like this one anime Drifters from the guy who did Helsing and everything. I watched that entire series in sub, and honestly, it was great. Would not watch it any other way.
Yeah.
However, when I knew this should have been a sign that I knew this club wasn't for me. When the one thing that they decided to watch was Cowboy Bebop, and they all decided, yo, we're gonna watch this in the Japanese original subtitle. No, that's the thing. They didn't have subtitles. They just were like, yo, we're gonna watch this entirely in Japanese, no
What?
subtitles,
Why? That makes
just to
those.
feel superior, just to feel superior.
That's a. That's a. That's some.
Yeah,
That's some weeaboo energy right there.
yeah, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, thank God, I already know the movie beforehand, but it's like, imagine being someone who just does not know what Cowboy Bebop is, or is just getting into the series, and it's like, all right, let me watch this, and it's entirely in Japanese. You're an American man who's just a chill anime fan. You're not even all about that sub versus dub, and you're just watching this in pure Japanese, no subtitles. And I'm just like, well, this is definitely a thing. And it's like,
You have better sanity than me. Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I left.
Oh, you did leave. Okay, I would have left automatically. I'm like, wait, we're not watching this in sub, like or dub. And like, nope. I'm like, time to head out.
like, here's the thing. And this reminds me of this one meme. Have you seen the boy? By the way,
uh,
or at
you
least heard.
you cut out a little bit there. I didn't hear what you said.
Sorry, I was saying, did you see the boys at all? Like the animes
I've
episodes.
seen bits and pieces, but I know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, so it's like, I don't know if you've seen like that meme go around with the Homelander and everything, where he's just like, watching the
Yeah,
movie, and it's just like this white noise at that point.
yeah.
Yeah, that was me. That was me watching Cowboy Bebop entirely in Japanese, and it's like, again, nothing against like a lot of people like sub and dubs and all that stuff, or just like, like the original Japanese language. That's cool. Don't put me in that shit though. Like, actually, don't expect me to just like watch anything with you that's pure Japanese, no subtitles or anything, because
I
I just can't do it.
That's a weeb energy. I'm pretty sure 99% of those kids did not speak a lick of Japanese.
I'm pretty sure. And I know some of them were confused, but they were too damn prideful to admit, like, yo, I'm head out.
Like,
Not me though.
like all I did was imagine you as like the meme of like the guy on the beach and like the different images of him like screaming and stuff, looking at the ocean. Like, oh
Exactly that. I'm just, fuck this place. I'm out of here.
man, I know we're all on a ramble, but let me finish my one part where I remember
Mhm.
some I remember they decided to watch Attack on Titan at one point because the new anime club was run by a kid who was also kind of racist in my opinion because he liked saying the N word and then put words in my mouth one time and said, "Oh, he's cool with it. I'm like, I didn't say that, but whatever. Go off, I guess. But they were watching Attack on Titan, and I remember the next week they're like, "Oh, we can't watch it anymore because people found it too graphic." And I'm like, "What? This shit was pretty tamed. This shit was pretty." I'm like, "Did you guys watch Elephant Line?" Because that shit scarred me as a kid. That was. This is nowhere near compared to 80s anime or 90s anime. For God forbid, actually, I say God forbid 80s anime because I think 80s anime went too hard when it comes to.
Honestly, man.
But yeah, that's a perfect way to roll back around to the idea of like that kid literally said, "Oh, he's cool with me saying the N word." I'm like, I was so confused. I was like, did this boy just put words in my mouth?
Yes.
And I'm like, this is what happens when you grow up as a try to be a friendly, kind black person. You're like, I don't want to start fights. I know you're being kind of a little racist, but I don't want to just tell you to eat shit. That's kind of rude. Now I'm like punished, punished version of myself. Where I'm like, no, go fuck yourself.
You just don't know how to like come up with stuff like that because, like, yeah, like you said, you don't want to be that guy to just straight up, cause conflict. But it's like, I'll be damned if I'm uncomfortable and everything, and I'll be damned if I gotta make everybody else comfortable just for a quote unquote joke that I never gave you the approval for, or thinking I gave you the N-word pass. Like, first off, you don't even know my fucking name, bro. What the hell?
I
Ugh.
I remember we talked about that in my race and culture class in college, and
Mhm.
that class actually I will admit that class opened a lot of stuff for me. That made me that kind of also brought up a lot of my own points in life and stuff. But we talked about that like why do white people like saying the N word? And one of the theories is like they just think it's cool. They think it makes them cool, and it's like, oh man, it doesn't make you look cool. It makes you look like a racist, man.
And it's like at this point, it's just like I can't even call you racist anymore. You actually just stupid, my nigga. Like, what the fuck?
Because it goes from ignorant to no, you're just being racist.
Like, honestly, it's kind of like that whole joke of like, oh man, so and so's about to say the N word, and it's just like, oh man, I'm about to say the N word, guys. I'm like, all right, so say the word, say the motherfucking word, since you so happy about it. And that's when everybody gets nervous because there's an actual black person talking about this,
And
but it's like, what's up?
you know what I hate though is when they say is when I remember this one guy I used to watch on YouTube called Just a Robot. I'm looking back, I'm like, why did I watch this guy? And I remember at one point he said, "Oh, well, if I said the N word, no, a black person is actually not gonna beat me up." I'm like, and like, yeah, I think one of his, I know he also has a black friend, so I'm not sure if his black friend told him that they no supposed to want to do that. I'm like, your black friend did not tell you the truth, because just because it may be in your area they might not do something, you go to another part of your state or another neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
You're two. There's three options. They cuss you out, you get beat up, or you get shot. Those are the three
Like,
options.
honestly,
You
like I don't know who told you that, bro.
just because you have a black friend, man, doesn't mean you. I mean, he doesn't like go around saying it, but because he was like talk about like a reaction to some guy in a video where he said if you say that to black people, they're gonna beat you up. He's like, oh no, they won't do that. I'm like, there are black people who will not give a fuck about going to prison to beat your ass up for saying it.
Like, honestly, bro, I'm sorry, but your black friend obviously black. He definitely don't speak for us. What the hell?
Actually,
Um,
one of my friends, I know he's not watching right now, but he best described like those type of black people or ones who, like, honestly never really experienced kind of issues black people have gone through, like in a sense racism and stuff like that. That
mm-hmm.
like he kind of grew up in like maybe a certain area where they don't that kind of shit doesn't happen, or they don't
Yeah,
notice it, so they kind of think they have an understanding of like that, and it's like, nah, man, you didn't experience it. You don't really have. I'm sorry, you kind of made it. You shouldn't speak on it a little bit because
and that's true though. Honestly, Eh, I don't. I always know for a fact that I come across a lot of people like that as I've gotten. they're on this whole, and actually this leads to a funny story, man. I had a friend, and he was somebody from college. I've known him for like a good 4 years at this point. And honestly, I thought he was a genuinely good guy. We didn't always agree on certain things, but I was like, it is what it is. Still had a good time. We vibed. And then something happened that just did not sit right with me. And it was his pure hatred towards like Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel and everything.
Hmm.
This is like strictly from the comic books before the show and everything. He was just feeling that way about her. And the thing is, he he always kind of just said it like this. Like he always hated like, Miss Marvel because he kept calling her like a ripoff of like, Mr. Fantastic. And then I feel like I know where this is going, but like I asked why. And he kept going down this rant and talking about how they share the same powers. And I'm just like, that makes no sense, especially when we got niggas like Plastic Man, Flat Man,
Elong
Mrs. Incredible.
elongated
Yeah,
man.
yeah, Elongated Man. I'm like, there's so many other characters with these powers, so how is this a ripoff? And he just says the same thing over and over again. He keeps saying like, oh, she's just like made to appeal to like, to appeal like Muslim audience and all that stuff. And I'm just like, is it really that much of a bad thing, especially when like the writer herself is Muslim? And I'm just like, and it's like, I know it's not perfect, but it's like you actually act character shot your dog and burned down your house, bro. And he keeps going on the same argument, and for some reason this whole argument just ended up turning into a whole like a race debate thing where he's just like, oh, because I'm black doesn't mean I got to like follow the stray and everything, or I gotta like follow everybody else's move and everything. And I'm like, I ain't say all that. We're talking about Miss Marvel right now. I'm just saying how you kind of talking out of pocket, bro. And it kept going on, a back and forth, or really just like him yelling at me, and I'm just simply telling him how I feel and how you're kind of just coming off as a dick. And the last words he just said to me were just like, "Hey, go fuck yourself." I gave my explanations. I said what I said, and he just left me high and dry. And I'm just like,
I
all right,
think
bro.
I think he was just. I'm gonna be straight up honest. I think your friend was actually racist, because it makes no sense. Because when you have all these other characters who are, by all accounts, all white, and then you have the one character who isn't, it's like, why get mad about that one? And even then, all those elastic characters have different power sets when it comes to how like their powers work. Like
Yeah, and
Plastic
that's why I
Man's
try to
like
explain it to him.
Plastic Man's actually I think the most broken character when it comes to his powers.
Honestly, after seeing Zombie Plastic Man, yeah, I can agree with that.
Plastic
But
Man's like a legit like nuclear bomb dangerous character.
exactly, he's lit. He has so much potential to just straight up like just to destroy everything. But he's just like, nah,
Um,
goofy plastic stuff.
yeah, but I you know what's funny is that I actually had the same thing happen to me in with a comic book conversation with another kid because I was in a Discord and we were talking and I think we were talking I know we were talking about like the Black Batman. And I was just like, I haven't read it, but I'm like, I'm cool with it. I mean, whatever. It's okay to have a Black Batman. I mean, I'm gonna check out reading it if he's good. He's good, but if he's not, I'm like, well, this is
Yeah,
shit. I'm not gonna say he's shit because he's black. I'm gonna say he's shit because he's shit.
yeah, that's just what it is.
Like how,
That's really what people left as.
like how
But
I
yeah,
say with like the Black Wally West. I'm like, I don't think he's shit because he's black. I think he's shit because no writer can make him interesting, in my opinion.
yes, that's truth. And no, that's good because like and I mean like deteriorate the conversation again, but it's
Yeah,
like this ain't like our first Black Batman. We all know what Stan Lee did that one time when he decided to have his own Justice League, and it's just another guy in the suit because realistically, Batman is, as it's always said, a symbol. Anybody could wear that suit, you know.
yeah.
So, just I don't. I mean, I get it if it's like a quote unquote race swap or anything like that, but even then, it's like that's not. And even then, when they did that, it was like an alternate universe where Batman and the majority of the Justice League was black except for Cyborg.
What?
Oh
Yeah,
man.
but I remember. But though that conversation, it got wild for some reason. After I said, no. Here's the thing. Anytime someone says they're okay with something, he'll go in a long rant about something.
Ooh, yep.
He did. He went on a whole long ass rant about how he doesn't like it, and then for some reason he started getting kind of personal and started telling us personal information. I'm like, I didn't even know any of that. Where he was like, "Oh well, being mixed," because I'm like, I think because apparently he's half black, but I'm not sure what the other race is he's mixed of. But he's saying, "Oh, because I'm black, like some people, my family treated me differently. They treated me wrong. I've been beaten up. I think he said he got shot. I can't. I'm not even trying to like exaggerate it because I'm actually starting to remember he said he got shot or not by someone, and I don't know if it was for being black or not. But I just remember him saying something so crazy, and I'm like, why would that happen? I don't know if that was a race thing, man. I think you're just saying that, but he went on a whole tirade about how he pretty much it summed up to it the way I showed my friend it. It pretty much the best described he hated the fact he was half black. And I'm like, and that's why he's hating on Black Batman. I figured that's how I summed it up. I'm like, okay, I see where this comes from. You're black and you don't like the shit that happens, man. Okay, okay. All right, let me just move on about my day and not come in this Discord for a while.
Yeah, and here's the thing, I get it. As we're just people at the end of the day. We're black, but we're also people first before anything else.
Yeah,
But even then, it's kind of just like some folks just take it way too personal to the point where it's just like it's like I've seen like a lot of those like YouTubers, like Low Tier God, Young Rippa, or if I had to get actually political, Candace Owens, where they literally say stuff like, oh, just because I'm black, I don't gotta be blase. Like they make that their whole talking point, and I'm just like, that's crazy. I didn't ask all that, but go on, I guess.
it's like I don't really. It's like the best way I can describe it, like things like that, is more of like I'm all for like, hey, yeah, I'll support like some black creators, but if it's shit, I'm not gonna support it. But it's not because oh well they're a black creator, why should I support it? It's more of no, the product's kind of shit, man.
Yeah, just leave it at that. You don't gotta go on this whole tirade about how much you don't like being black. And I know you didn't say that, but you're really making it seem like that's what you're saying because you keep getting mad and talking to me about your personal struggles. I ain't ask all that.
Because that happened to me when I came to like that anime that came out, Yosuke. Me and my friend Jake watched it, and we're both and at the end we're like, man, this kind of wasn't great. My opinion, I think it was kind of ass because of how
Yeah.
like fast paced it, and how weird it got near and I'm like, and I straight up said, yeah, I wouldn't support this by all opinion, but that's me. If you want to support it, you go support it. But it was like, nah, man, I do not recommend this. I was expecting some high quality Black Samurai. I didn't get my high quality Black Samurai today. Hopefully next time I get him.
Bro. it's just so weird because it's like I feel like a lot of these folks want to just go so far from the stray. They just want to be something else entirely, and it's like I don't. I get it. I understand what you want to do. You want to be an individual. It's like you're trying so hard to be an individual. Not you're just pretty much becoming going part of another stray. You're
Yeah,
just being part of another group of people. You know,
like
and that's just what it is.
I'm not sure how you feel, but I remember seeing this one, like a few comic pages of this one called like Black Mage. And I was like, oh, this looks interesting. Like, but then I started looking at the thing. I'm like, oh, Black Mage because he's black. Okay, that's maybe a little too on the nose. And then here, Tellman was like a warrior magician or wizard, whichever magic term you want to use. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a little different. All right, whatever. But then I knew this guy was going too far and being too on the nose when he named like as the one main black character. You want to know what his crow name was?
What?
Jim.
Jim?
Jim Crow.
Oh my god.
And I was like, okay, bro, you've lost the plot. This is, and it was written by a black writer. I'm like, but bro, this is on the nose to the point where I would think it was written by a white guy who thinks he's like trying to understand black people. This is how bad this is, bro.
See, when I hear stuff like that, I'm thinking, what type of satire is this? And what am I missing? Are you just genuine?
Because even my mom, when I told my mom that, because at first she's like, "Oh yeah, it seems okay. Why should I care?" And then I said, "Oh, the crow's named Jim Crow." She's like, "Okay, that's kind of stupid."
Oh my god.
It's when I get to it's when I say Jim Crow is when everyone turns around and they're like, "Wait, what?"
It's like, yo, his name's Jim. Jim what? Jim Crow, what?
Because, you know, he's the Crow, so he's Jim. And it's like, bro, that's
Where's the
on the
irony in
nose to
that?
the point where, like I said, if I didn't tell you it was a black guy, you would think it was written by a white guy out of touch.
Honestly, yeah. Good lord. Also, oh wait, hold on one second.
Take it out, take it out, take it out. Well, I hope the one person out here is enjoying it, enjoying this podcast. Yeah, I mean, probably other people will come watch this after, like the VOD, and like probably I'll upload it to YouTube and stuff like that. I'm trying to think of other instances because that Jim Crow one was that was that was stupid. I still think about that sometimes because I'm like, how that was so out of touch to the point where I'm like I told her, it's just that's like I'm repeating myself, but Jesus Christ, man, that someone would think that with a white guy.
I mean, anyone with a brain cell should know that, but
Well, no, man, that actually, did you see the Miles thing? That oh wait, no, we talked about that. Never mind, you did see that. You did see that
I,
stupid shit.
I saw all that, bro. Oh my god.
That was all over Twitter. Everyone was like, "What the fuck is this?" everyone. That was one of those moments where everyone came together to be like, "What is this shit?"
I I don't I
It was
I got
so
so many questions. Let me talk and see what.
it was so bad that even the creator of Blue Marvel came out to be, "What is this shit?" What a comic creator! He created like a new that pretty much what kind of the famous black character now. It's like, what is this?
I I I remember seeing that. Seeing like, all right, Miles Morales' store. I won't lie. I was gonna give it a shot at first, but then I saw the dialogue, and despite how hilarious on Odin's fade is, I am not gonna lie. That was it is just the worst thing ever. I'm seeing Loki and Odin and all of them just be like dripped out and all this stuff. I'm like, man, that's sad when like MCU's Loki had a better black Loki than the actual comics. What the hell?
It was so confusing to me because I'm like, bro, you all you had to do was just make him Thor. You you like do you think like and like don't give it and like I'm like the shoestrings on wires, why is that there? Why are people carts rim why are carts rimmed up? Like
Yup.
what hold it like why are frost giants black? Frost giants are not even a race, they're just species and a creatures by all account. They're not actually like a race of people. Like why did he turn them black and give them chains?
Like,
Like being black's not about any of this. What the fuck is this?
why'd you turn Asgard into what the hell?
Into like the hood, like what the stereotypical hood you see in movies and stuff like that.
You, you actually turned Asgard into like into like Freaknik Atlanta in like 1995, bro. What the hell is all this?
Also, the rhyming scheme of trying to make him of like Thor. Right? I'm like, bro, have you read Miles? Because Miles actually doesn't speak a lot of slang. And anytime, like, Miles is one of those characters who doesn't speak slang, which is like, I think why there are people who like him, like relate to that, because yeah, there are people who are black who don't speak slang. But when you do
Yeah,
that, when you force it on Miles, it sounds so off. It's so out of character. It's like, that doesn't sound right coming from you, Miles.
honestly, and it shows. Like, say what you will about like Bendit, even he knew like, yeah, I ain't gonna do what I do.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, actually, I've heard apparently the guy was Mexican who wrote this, even though I'm like, I've heard two different things, so I don't know which race is it. But either way, it still was pretty bad. He was like,
Mhm.
Midness, a white man wrote Miles, and Miles kicked off from there, and then everyone else took him. But like, at least the movies and the games have taken him somewhere. But still, Jesus Christ, that Thor Miles was like on the basis of, bro, we want some blur representation in here. That's cool, but not like this. Not like this.
Why
It,
he got on J's, bro? Why he got J's?
I'm like, even the real Thor isn't like this, and like it's like it's like he just watched a movie, like an old movie, like 90s or 80s, and he's like, I understand black culture now.
God, Lord, I just, it's sad when even my homies had to saying like, "Hey, yo, this ain't it, bro. Why would you do this?" He wasn't even mad at the writer because he knows like the writer was just asked to do this, but he just knows for a fact that this was not his element. This was not his comfort,
Bro,
and he just
I'm
could
gonna
not have
say
done it.
I'm gonna say it's the writer's fault because at that point I'm like, what would have happened if he actually got to write a black character? What actually would have happened?
Bro, give him like a chance to write a black character. I guarantee you, he's gonna come out looking like Luke Cage, but way more stereotypical. Give him like a gold chain, teeth, all that stuff. He's gonna have a grill. Man's pants are gonna be sagging, and he's gonna have on tin.
Like, bro, man, that was like, bro, I want my, I'm fine with wanting to make the like miles and shit, but oh no, this is not it. This is not my miles. Get this,
Especially
like the design is the only thing I like about this. Other than that, get this out of my face.
honestly, like, why'd you have to make him full? You could have just made him any other. You had to make him more.
I think that's the only time. I will admit that's the one thing on Twitter is that I realize if something is so bad, that's the only way you can tell when something is so bad is when everyone in communities come together. They'd be like, "What is this?"
It's like, damn. SJWs, anti-SJWs, comics gate, video game gate, anti-comics gate, left, right, everybody just like, this is trash.
Get this out of here. And he brought it back for the final issue too. You're like, get this man out of here.
He literally interacted with Miles, and literally as he was talking to like Miles was like, just do it. And he's like, all right, this shit gonna hurt though.
Bro, if I met like a version of myself who spoke like that, I'd be like, why do I feel like this is slightly racist? I don't know why. I feel like you're slightly like a race, like someone made you and they're pretty racist about it.
Yeah, honestly.
Like, how would you feel about that? You met like a version of yourself who spoke like that. You're like, what the fuck?
That's our version of it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that Gravity Falls scene where like Dipper's talking to like Dippy Fresh. It's like, oh fuck this nigga.
You're
Nah,
like,
not out of it.
like you're just like a mirror world, and that's like, what the fuck? Get out of here! What? You're not me. You're 100% not me because I don't speak like this at all.
Oh my god, it was so bad. It's
Ew.
like it's just kind of funny and sad, too, especially when it had like Captain America Miles, and apparently that was good. I don't know what happened with this though.
That I that was just who I'm like, Marvel. You really should have had someone do. I'm like, Marvel. You need to hire more editors, and then you need to hire start doing test reads because Jesus Christ. Because someone would have told you this is pretty ass, dude.
Like, and also, y'all literally hire more black artists because it's like it's not even like necessity, but it's definitely necessary when you out here trying to write black characters and don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Well, even then, you have to be careful because like how I brought up the black mage thing. Because even then, black writers can be pretty shit, even writing black characters somehow.
Sad true, but at least I can say it comes with some authenticity.
A little bit, yeah. You're right. You're right. He does a little authenticity. Like, hey, he's a black writer at least, right? Right. It's still ass though.
I can at least if it's ass, I could understand why. Like I could, but then I look at like a white writer. It's kind of like how they tried to write John Stewart back in the day, just angry black Green Lantern.
I remember at the comic shop and they told me how the Green Lantern became who John Stewart got his powers. Like, oh, hey, John Stewart got his powers. He got his powers because black people were mad at Hal Jordan because there was no other black Green Lantern. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And I was serious. I'm like, huh, that's one way to make a black Green Lantern. All right, at least they changed it later on. But ooh,
It was it.
it was like, Man, sometimes white creators, when they make a black character, they can sometimes be a hit or miss on how they do the origin.
Oh yeah, if it hits, it hits. When it's a miss, it is painful.
It's like, oh, you got Black Panther, cool. Here's Jon Stewart's origin. I'm like, oh, that's kind of, oof.
Ugh.
I still remember Black Manta's like, I think his like goal was like until they changed it was he was like, I want Atlantis so I can have like a location for all the black people to have somewhere else to live. And I'm like, Black Manta, that's kind of fucked up a little bit. You're gonna kill. You want to kill a whole other race of people. That's kind of.
Bro, come on, man.
And then later on, he's like, "No, that was a lie." I'm like, "Okay, either either the writer changes, either the writer's like, oh yeah, that was an intention, or someone else came in and was like, this not this, nah, let's get this out of here."
This is not it, cuz what the actual hell is going on?
I think another thing that happened, I'm not sure if you remember if you played it or not or seen the scene when it came to Mortal Kombat 11. Because me and my friends were talking about it last week too, with Jax's ending, and I was like, bro, whoever made this does not know Jax and does not know how anything works when it comes to black people. Jesus Christ. Because they made this old man say woke, and I was like, oh, this is stupid right here.
Bro.
He's like, it's time for people to get woke, and I was like, bro. And then
Actually,
in his ending, he ended racism, and I was like, that what? But because as a character, Jax never cared about being his personality and his whole goal wasn't because I'm a black man. It's more of like, I'm just depressed because my wife is dead and I have PTSD. Not.
Jack, it was so weird when I saw that, and I get it. I genuinely do, because like here's the thing: if I had the power to like change a lot of things in history for the better, yeah, that's definitely gonna be at like the top of the list of things to do. But that's definitely not something Jax would do, or
Yeah,
at least not in that sense.
and even realistically, I'm like, no, man, that's impossible. That's like because if we have if like we have our own race problems within our own groups, then you're not gonna fix that. I'm not even trying to be like a pessimist. That's like just from seeing how people react to each other. I'm like, nah, man.
Considering how we as humans are, that ain't gonna work out.
Also, like, actually, that whole game, black people kind of got screwed over in that whole fucking. Because also with Jade ending, how she erased herself from history, how they keep making Jade lighter and lighter for some reason.
Man, that hurt.
And
honestly.
then either someone pointed this out or I just for some reason put the dots together where I'm like, wait, why do you have what I thought about like, wait, black man working for white bald lady fighting on a ship gets stuck to an anchor and then thrown into the ocean. I'm like, that could that be considered racist undertones? I don't think that's racist undertones. Maybe I just put two points together, but that was one of the more like, yeah, that's a little weird. Why am I putting these together?
It definitely falls under that category. And hell, just look at how they do Jackie.
Like I said, she got erased from history for some reason. I'm like, why did you do that?
They really said we have no idea what the Jackie, so let's just erase her entirely.
I'm like, bro, I'm like, man, black people culture. I'm like, why do we keep getting like shit in and stick with some pop culture shit, man? You're like, come on, man.
Video games have been struggling to do us. We'd be lucky if a fighting game. That's right.
I mean, surprisingly, fighting games mostly do us right for some
reason. they've been doing great. I ain't gonna lie. I won't lie. It's sad when like originally my only rep for that was literally DJ from Street Fighter and Paul Rock. I love that nigga though.
Like as time gone, they got better.
The women are nice. Oh yeah, at least the women are nice, and Tekken's been putting in work.
It's actually I think those are the only. I think there's only been like 3 fighting games that really are like. Now we want everyone from around the world. That's KOF, Tekken, and Street Fighter. At least from like top of the head. I think about. Like they're like we want everyone from all over the fucking world in our games.
You better. You're hosting a world tournament. You best get everybody.
Get all the World Warriors for this, man.
Oh gosh,
I try to
man.
I'm trying to think of anything else about like when it comes to like shit that happens and like when it comes to like being black and like trying to fit into these communities. That is just there's a lot in my opinion, just from the movies and dressing up and oh, I think about art. You want to talk about art for a second when it comes to people?
Art. All right, so we're gonna be here for a while, but go on.
I'll tell you right now. Listen, I used to be on the side of I don't like race swap. I used to be for race swapping, but then got brainwashed. I'm gonna be honest. I got brainwashed into thinking race swapping's kind of bad. To I don't care anymore. I'm more of the only thing I can say. I'm more for just doing original, like actual doing original art than just like drawing over the character. I think that like looks nicer. But that's just me. I'm like people can just do what they want as long as they're not being assholes about it. Because Jesus Christ, I've seen enough people being assholes about doing it. But I also don't like people being assholes to people who do it.
Yeah, because it's like, guys, I don't know if you know this. That character that you like so much that got word swapped right there, they're still around. They're still the same. It's almost like this is fan art. You know, fan art. Just another part of the art community. Something we do every day. This one just so happens to be different. Or, another interpretation of the character. Because that's how I just view it, you know?
It used to not be as bad when it came to this. It used to be pretty just like you'll get your every once in a while like person who bitches about it, but it used to be kind of chill. But it was when I think it was when everyone moved to Twitter is when it got bad.
Oh, especially on Twitter, because, everybody has a voice. Even if they shouldn't always, say anything. And, I'm all pro free speech, but I'm gonna be honest, some of y'all punch that ticket so hard when it comes to racism.
Oh, I'm
Nothing
pro. I
else.
mean, I'm pro free speech, but I also say you dumbasses need to remember you're not free from consequences. People can call you on your shit, and
Exactly.
people can kick you out for on your shit.
Exactly. And I just and I'm also like very much characters. But like I said, at the end of the day, this is just fan art. And I want everybody to do it. Everybody should just feel free to do what they do with their characters or just try something different with originals.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I like
And
like it's just whatever. Really, for me now, it's like, hey, no, do your thing. Just don't be
oh yeah.
weird, for the love of God.
I feel like that's the thing. It's less people getting weird and more of like the people responding to it are getting weird. Because you either A, run into people who are just gonna go automatically racist, no brim or butter, just say that stuff. And then there's gonna be people who just in the comments are saying like, oh, you fixed it. Or as my poor friend had to go through somebody fetishizing it by simply saying like, hey, I feel ashamed to be white and I really like black women and all that stuff. And I'm just like, why are y'all like this? Who made y'all this way?
It's weird because it almost became like an inverse where it was kind of an issue. Like it was like there wasn't like a big issue, but it was more of like how like people would do like race swaps for like Asian characters. But at the time, like I saw like a mix of people doing it, respectively, being like, oh yeah, I wanted to see what they would look like as a black character. I'm like, oh, that's fine. And then people being really weird about it, being like, I fixed it, and it's like, man, your shit looks like ass, bro. And you said you fixed it.
Mm-hmm.
What was wrong? What was wrong with them? How they look to begin with, bro?
Exactly. It's kind of why whenever I saw like a lot of Uzaki-chan, like
Oh yeah,
videos on Twitter, that was something.
that was a wartime, man. If you like that, if you were okay with that character, you would be called all sorts of things.
It's like, and I felt bad because it's like for everybody who was just chill with the character, they would automatically be associated with the worst kind of people who were into that character. And I'm not gonna say all of them were bad, but I'll be damned once you see them, you're gonna remember.
I still,
Hey, hero, how
I
you doing?
I still felt bad for the I feel bad because I remember short girls were like defending her and be like, hey, there are girls who look like her who are short and have like big boobs and stuff like that. And I remember the moment they came out and said they were trying to defend her because yeah, there are real people like that. They're like, oh, you're a pick me girls. I'm like, oh. I'm like, how are they pick me girls for saying, hey, yeah, I do look like I there are girls who look like that. I don't know how that's pick me girls, bro. I felt oh that was a wartime. I think that was the first real maybe real art huge art discourse on Twitter after the Tumblr purge.
Honestly, yeah, because I've never really seen it get this big ever. As
Also, I
much
think
as
it
I've
happened
seen
during
like,
COVID too. Did that happen during COVID?
yeah,
That might be why.
it was roughly around COVID. Like I know this was 2019 going to 2020, so it was like definitely around because it had been going on for a while. Even when like the talks kind of stopped, I know a lot of people were still like making bank off of those videos and just pumping out content like, oh, people triggered by Uzaki-chan, and it's like nobody's even triggered anymore. It's kind of just there now. But I feel like the closest thing that's ever happened to that again was like the that one girl fucking Rebecca from the new Cyberpunk Edge Runners anime,
Yeah.
and yeah, that just turned into a whole situation right there.
I actually didn't
But
see anything that bad. I think it was kind of like, it was like, it felt like it was about to blow up, and then it was just kind of just simmer back down. Where I'm like, okay, all right, everything's kind of.
oh yeah, especially when like people kind of just realize, oh yeah, that wasn't said at all. There was no lollies or any type
Yeah,
of
that's what I thought. Cause I'm like,
yeah,
that's like a third party information. That's not actually the devs themselves saying that.
yeah, exactly.
I don't know why
And,
people took it seriously. It's like, no, like I'm like, no, that's just a short girl, man.
yeah, and we all knew this. We all, even my homies, when we and everything, we realized, yeah, that's just a short girl. There is no little kid intentions or anything like that here. But, everybody's so quick to jump on Japan and just
Like
be
you
like,
could really
"Oh
tell
man,
the
base
diff.
Japan,
Like
base
you,
Japan."
like you could tell the difference between the model, like a model of like a young, like because Japan actually does kind of have strict, at least to a degree, strict rules when it comes to that. They're like would it would be like this and that, and I'm like Rebecca's pretty tall, but she's not super
Yeah,
super short, and she's not
oh
even
yeah,
like short.
like
Even if she was short, she would probably and be still like older. She would be a short. I'd be a short stack at that point. But even then, if she wouldn't be like a complete stack, but she'll be just a short girl.
exactly. And she's actually acts her age. She has a body type that shows like oh yeah, she's got boobs. She's got a well developed body. This is not a little girl. It's just a short person, bro.
Like, oh man, like people got. I remember I got like people mad at me when I said I don't like it when I've seen people like like treat like real people like this, and they're like, oh, that doesn't happen, and I'm like, bro, just because you don't see it happen doesn't mean it doesn't.
Exactly.
Because yeah, I've listened to people talk about that how they don't like the fact because they how they look and like how they short people treat them like weirdly and stuff, and it's like I'm like if they treat you weirdly, there's something wrong with them. You're fine.
Oh yeah, exactly. Because unfortunately, like I do have a short friend, and she unfortunately does have moments of being infantized, and she just does not like that because she's a grown woman. She's in her 20s, so
Yeah.
it's like doesn't want to deal with that at all. So I don't know,
Yeah, man, but
but
when I'm trying to think, I really am trying to think about when, like, when it came to like race swapping, it got. I think it got bad during COVID as well. COVID Twitter really got bad during COVID because everyone was stuck inside. So all the people who are who they usually won't say shit were all inside,
exactly
and people's
because
mental
like
state started to fall apart too. So yeah, that got worse.
oh yeah, trust me, no, it's one of the reasons why they're leave or just like take a break because it's like this was all I had for a while. It's like I couldn't go to work. All my classes were just online. Couldn't really see my friends. All I had was the internet at the end of the day.
I mean, I got lucky with the fact I was already out of college and stuff. But I, being honest on Twitter, I saw people's mental state deteriorate because there were people I used to follow who was pretty chill. Like, yeah, I look back at some of their
Mm-hmm.
opinions were kind of shit. But looking at it
Mm-hmm.
now, I'm like, oh, their mental state did deteriorate because they were on Twitter every day.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. It's partially why I'm glad my old account was for it, like and everything because
Yeah,
I was associated with some admittedly kind of borderline terrible people, and I used, and like I said, I used to just be on the whole like, oh, everybody has a voice and everything, but I let too many people slide, and it was starting to just become to the point where it's like I was kind of getting irresponsible. I can't be responsible for what people say and do, but I could definitely be responsible for like just not associating with them. So it's like, seeing that whole stuff about race swaps and all that stuff just get out of control. Yeah, I saw that firsthand. It was like being in the middle of like, a civil war. Just uh
Like
why are so many people like this?
like I said, it was so weird. It was like I said back when Tumblr was a thing. Like it still is a thing, but like with more people on that, like
Yeah.
you did luckily you'd have to see comments all the time, so you really didn't see people's reactions to it unless you deliberately saw it.
Mm.
But on Twitter, it's like you'll see the reactions full stop once you click the image to look at like look at the image a little bit more. It it's like I hate the fact I really hate this fact that while anytime you make a Saiyan black, people are like, "Oh man, Frieza would literally call him a monkey now." I'm like, did you really have to make it racist? Like, did you actually have to make it racist? There was absolutely no reason to make it racist at that point.
No,
It's like,
but
hmm,
oh no, go ahead.
I gotta say, I have like two Black Super Saiyans. I want to make them, but I don't want people to start being weird all of a sudden and be like, I'm like, can I just have these characters be mine? Like, really, come on, man.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, no, and that's another thing that I've noticed too, or at least like something I've seen, where it's just like I love Dragon Ball. I genuinely just want to make like fun characters, whether they be dark skin or otherwise, and it's like everybody wants to be so quick to be like, oh man, look at this monkey, look at this fucking racial slur here, because that's unfortunately just how a lot of people react to anime in general now, or at least people on anime Twitter. Whenever there's like a black character just existing, or like you made a black character, and the best example of this was when I like was this is pretty much a whole reason of why I like to not all skin folk or kinfolk, because I don't know if you heard of this guy, or at least you probably seen him around when he was like harassing like my friend and everything. Not Black Sage D, but what's his name? There's so many crusty motherfuckers. I'm sorry, but oh yeah, Lord Paragon. I don't know if you heard about him.
I don't think so. I might have heard of him, but I'm not sure.
Well, long story short, Lord Paragon was basically this guy who was just he was basically what I like to call a prime example of a Dragon Ball coon. He would literally say all these weird things about saying like, I don't like black women or anything. I think they're ugly or anything like that. And he would literally talk about how much like anytime there's a black saying or anything, he would harass people's art and say like, "Oh, this is a disgrace to Toriyama's vision and everything that he made." And and it's just like he's saying this about the black characters only. And then he would like take the characters, commission other artists who just don't really question what he does or anything. He would commission other artists, whitewash the hell out of them, and make him part of his quote unquote Lord Paragon's like breeding thing or whatever though. And
What?
it was yeah.
Oh, you lost. I was listening, and then you heard breed. I heard the word breeding, and I'm like, what? I kind of like my eyes twitching actually. Holy shit! Wait a minute. I'm not sure if that's connected. Oh my god. I don't know. Sure, my brain just kind of falling apart right
No,
now.
no, 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 no. You're following the assignment well, because what I said was take other people's OCs, specifically the women, take them and make them part of like his character, Lord Paragon's breed, like harem and everything to breed and all that stuff. And that's just what it would be. He would especially take the dark skinned ones and whitewash the hell out of them, as he would commission the other artists to do. And he's just like, now they're perfect. Now they are beautiful. So yeah, that's what he would do.
Like I'm like, listen, man, everyone has their preferences when it comes to women, but Jesus fucking Christ, what is that's
And
that's
that's and the funny thing is, he would not just stop at that. He wouldn't stop at people's OCs. He would take like canon dark skinned anime characters, just whitewash the hell out of them, and just make them part of like his character's harem and everything.
uh
This
I
it's something, bro.
that is something. That's I don't think that's right. I think that's I don't think that's racism anymore. That's that's like a list. Like he's on a list from somewhere. Like
That's what we call some Tom Cooner, is what I tell you right there.
that's a
And
that's a
yeah,
I got nothing. I'm like I'm that image of I don't have an image good enough to respond to what I says. But Jesus fucking Christ, like
it's just sadly like that because he would do that with some characters. He one time got mad at my friend's like Starfire, and he's out here going on a muck, and I'm thinking it's satire. No, he actually acts like a whole ass child, whining and saying stuff like, "You ruined this character's, you ruined this perfect of a character," because like she made like a dark skin like Starfire and everything.
yeah.
He's like, "You ruined the purity of Starfire by giving her black skin, this black magic," and I'm like, "What the fuck is he saying?"
I mean, at first we think black magic, you're like, oh, he's satire. Because you see that, you're like, oh, this is satire. He's fucking with us.
Oh yeah, I was thinking it's all satire. Then I found his YouTube channel, all his other stuff on there, and I'm just like, this is not satire. He's actually They
Yeah.
actually got this man. They actually record this man actually going to a whole different state and trying to like start a fight with somebody that he got into a fight with online. Let that tell you something.
Wait, he literally went to a whole damn near other state to fight someone.
Yeah,
Bro, that's like, I'm
one
gonna
on
be
one
honest,
argument.
that is someone who would kill someone. Like, actually, like, that's one of those stories of you hear about, like, people actually getting so bad on the internet, they actually find a person to kill.
Yeah,
That's something waiting to happen because that's someone that needs to be put somewhere. That's that's oh my god, that's I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Also like
remember,
the
folks, people on the internet are wild.
like wait wait is this you said he had a YouTube channel?
Yep,
Is it
Lord
Almighty?
Paragon.
Is it the Almighty Lord Paragon?
You got like two. It's like Lord Paragon or Perfection and all that stuff.
Yeah, you're right. I found the perfection and natural selection. Oh, that's gross. Actually, that's weird. That's a weird one. Perfection and natural selection.
Yup.
Oh, that's It almost feels hypocritical because he have like one of his first videos is a character from Hell of a Boss, and I'm like, motherfucker, get the fuck out of here.
It's insane, bro. I'm telling you.
I'm so confused. Like I'm looking at
Dude,
it doesn't seem. I mean, it seems a little strange so far, but it's nothing. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. He's one of those YouTube Dragon Ball YouTubers that like do like sexual, like show like sexual thumbnails and stuff like that. God damn it,
Yep.
bro. Oh, why are these feature channels? Why are any of these Dragon Ball fans feature channel here? I hope Brian Sal doesn't play with this man. If he does, that's kind of bad.
Yep. And it doesn't help that he's always like trying to like challenge niggas, always saying stuff like I'm the greatest player of all time on some Kanye type beat, on some early 2010s Kanye type beat, only to just be like, get wasted, get beat, and just dip out anytime he's catching an L. So
Bro, man,
yeah,
that's I can't get over it though. Like perfection and natural selection. I'm like, bro, or just I'm like, oh well, yeah, it can't be. I mean, yeah, it all sounds bad. Like his thumbnails can't. Like I mean, so far his YouTube channel doesn't sound terrible. I'm not watching him, so I'm like, I'm not gonna watch any of your shit. I'm not giving you those views.
oh yeah, no, no. What you gotta see is his Twitter, and never Google his name on like Google Images. You will find some wild stuff. That's all I could say.
it can't be that bad. It's that's that's some crazy shit though. That's like
Mm-hmm.
that's.
Hey, bro.
I mean, we were just talking about like people being wild, but that's on a whole nother
He's got a
level.
whole megaphone.
Like
Mm-hmm.
that's a whole nother level of no man. That's pretty cringe. That's pretty.
Oh yeah, you don't even gotta apologize for saying cringe because he's actually that living embodiment.
That's like an actual example of, bro. If you were bullied, you probably were bullied for a reason, dude.
Exactly.
Like it probably wasn't bullying. It was probably more of you did something and someone beat your ass for it.
So literally, you had this coming from.
That's like, oh no, that's. I can't get over what you said of a breeder thing. That's. To say that with your chest, it's like, nah. Like most people say, oh, he speaks his mind. I'm like, motherfucker, just because you speak your mind doesn't mean I actually have to like.
Exactly.
That's not that's speaking your mind, but speaking your mind of, nah, maybe you should have kept that and locked away,
Yeah,
or
like bro,
talk,
you should let that stay in the bookmarks, bro.
or ask someone, is this correct? And not ask one person, ask multiple people, and see how many you get of yes and no's. If you get more no's, then you know it's wrong.
Yup.
Oh my god. My train of thought is gone over the breeding. Like it. Because I was.
It's a rabbit hole I gotta tell people about before they come across it themselves because it is insane.
I don't really watch regular YouTubers that much except for Bosco, but oh my god. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, he's just a universe player, so I wouldn't have watched him, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's insane.
That's. I'm.
Never go into his Discord ever.
Oh, his Discord's probably hell. His Discord's probably like shit.
Exactly. Like, yo, those Discord mod jokes, yeah, he's a living embodiment.
Like, I'm trying to. I'm trying to get my brain back. Okay, give me a second. Okay, give me 1 minute. That's like, I'm trying to. I'm trying. Okay, remember it was the incident that happened a week ago, maybe, with like Black OCs. I remember it was a set. It was like talk about the new. It was like someone whitewashed someone's like character the other day. Like I think last week. I'm pretty sure you've seen that.
Oh, yes.
Like I don't know what the like their manga's called, but I know the person someone whitewashed it. And I was like, bro, that's fucked up.
Oh, yeah, with Cloud Strikers. Yep,
Yeah, and I was like, bro, I want black creators to make OCs. I would like to see more of them, but you doing that is not helping because they made one,
Yeah.
and then you proceed to do that,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you also said I fixed it, and that makes it worse.
Yeah. And this is a problem that I would bring up when anytime somebody's like, oh, why don't you, like, make your own characters? Oh, we do. Y'all still don't like them though. And this is not a whole like, oh, you're critiquing them. This is more of a, you actually just don't want any of these characters to exist, whether it be anime weebs, not accepting the fact that sometimes black people are just in anime. They're just casually there. They're just vibing, being people. It's not a agenda like the weird neck bearded motherfuckers who cry woke every day are saying. It's sometimes characters are just there, bro.
Like especially if it's a
And
world that's not set in like like the real world. If it's like set in like just a new world. Like I can't remember the name of it, but I know you've seen it. Like the manga where they like the kid ends up in like pretty much a world like a world full of trash because he fell from the sky. Like I can't say I can't remember the name off the top of my head. All I know is that like I saw you talk about the other like you're actually the reason why I started reading it because you showed off one black girl who had like short hair, like kind of really short hair that kind of like buzzed down a little bit. Like Like she had glasses and stuff like that. I can't remember. I can't remember for the life of me.
No, I got you. I just cause I know I talk about a lot of characters I talk about, but it's kind of just something I try to do, where I do like to encourage other people to like, seek other original works by other creators and stuff, because it's like it's not enough of y'all just go support them, maybe recommend them, or support them yourselves, since y'all so quick to say how nobody cares about them. I don't see you doing it. I don't know.
It's I like I say, I will support if I see it. Cause if I like your art and it looks nice, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll support you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm not gonna like judge you for like your character's race. Cause like, why would I do that? Like that makes no sense. It's cool.
Oh yeah, and that's completely fine. I'm just saying, it's like, at least put your money where your mouth.
Yeah.
Keep saying things like that.
Like, 'cause, yeah, I want, like I said, I'm on the vote of, yeah, I want to see more original black characters, but I don't want to see people do what that guy did to these black characters, because that will make people want to do them less, and that sucks. I want to see more.
Oh yeah, and trust me, there's like a variety out there. It's all a matter of like finding. And I always found it to be like kind of a lazy mindset when people say stuff like, "Well, I shouldn't go out of my way to find them." And I'm like, I mean, when you're going like to take a job application, that fall in your lap, you know.
I actually
So
don't
it's like,
usually go out to find him. I just find him. I'm just like just browsing through art, and I'm like, oh, someone retweeted this. That's pretty good. Oh, I like this.
yeah,
And if I want to, I'll just check it through. Like I just wait. I just wait to see it on my own. I don't really try to seek it. I'm just like, I'll find it when I see it. It's probably out
that's
there.
pretty cool.
It's out there. You just have to wait to see it.
Exactly. It's just sometimes it's just there, and you know.
Like
It's like, sorry, go ahead.
I can't actually. I can't remember what I was gonna say. You can go ahead with yours.
No, yeah, it's just I I'm just really into the idea that a lot of stuff that we have to offer, and we could just like go out and like make our characters. Yeah, there's also gonna, but unfortunately with that, there's gonna be backlash, because let's just call it like it is. Sometimes folks just don't want to see niggas. They want to play off the whole like, oh, I fixed it or I whitewashed it as a joke, even if it's not that funny, if at all. And we just gotta just take it, because I realized that when I made my Dragon Ball OC, Violet and everything, and like somebody asked with their full chest, why is she dark skinned? And I'm just like, why not?
Like, well,
Why not?
what's the issue? Like,
Yeah. What's so wrong about me just casually having an original red skin or black? Sometimes it just, like I said, sometimes we just exist. I don't know what else to tell you.
I mean, it's not like, I mean, here's the one thing. Like, there's like a huge amount of black people in like the Dragon Ball community, and yeah, there are gonna be black people who want to see the black Saiyans.
Exactly.
Hell, like I remember when I was a kid. Actually, I wasn't even a kid when I was still doing it. I remember being a teenager and I still was all for this. Is the idea of like, oh yeah, they're black Saiyans, but like when they turn Super Saiyan, their hair turns white instead. And I was like, that'd be so badass, dude.
Oh
Cause
gosh.
I mean, my old hit candy for. I'm like, oh, they're black Saiyans. It's just they got a different Super Saiyan form or anything, But but now I'm like, oh yeah, there are probably still people on. Who cares? But still, it was the idea of just you don't see that many black characters in Dragon Ball, so people wanted to put their own.
Exactly. I didn't even want to like default her to being a Saiyan. I was just like, hey, let me just make this like human
Yeah.
character. I thought, hey, I might as well try something different with that, because it's kind of just a slight tangent. I just always thought like, hey, what if like the one side to like being a human in Dragon Ball is that you didn't know I, but you have to keep up with everybody else somehow. So I thought I'd try that,
Yeah.
and just knowing. that it's like, I want to just my character, just try original things with it or try an original idea with it. Sometimes that's enough.
Hmm.
And if somebody has a problem with it, well, I'm sorry, but you have to share this world, share this planet with people who look different than you. And I'm sorry, anime is not this escape that you think it is. Those people also exist. Go watch Cowboy Bebop, Michiko Hatchin, literally a lot of other anime. There's a
I'm still on the basis I don't care what any motherfucker said. Yorishi's black. Like that's not tan skin. That's because Kubo has shown characters who are tan, or who have like tan
Yup,
skin. Yorishi's black. Yorishi's full black. Like
exactly.
her skin tone
Yoichi's
is
black.
dark. That's not you. That's you can't get that. That's not tan dark.
Exactly. Literally, just literally look at other characters in Bleach, and you could tell the creator knows that there's other people who exist. Look at Chad.
Chad is
Look
legitimately like half Mexican, half Japanese.
exactly. He's got the hair, the skin tone, even the facial features that aren't exaggerated like most people portray people of color in like anime back then and everything. He's going the extra mile with a lot of these designs. So
Like
you know,
one way you can tell Yoriichi is black is based on her color palette because purple really does work well with black skin tones. Like it does
yep,
fit the skin. And like it's
exactly.
you look at like I remember someone said, "Oh, I don't think Yoriichi's black, but Tozen is." I'm like, she is darker than Tozen, but Tozen is black. But Tozen's also like a black character. But the idea to
Yeah,
say, "Oh, well, Tozen's black, but she's not," I'm like, her skin tone is legitimately darker. But that you can't be tan and be that and be darker than a black guy. I mean, you can with like light skin and stuff like that, but even then, it's still not the same.
exactly. Plus, there's no tan line. It's all natural. That is literally her body. Dark skin all up and down. So it's like I don't know those.
It's like, nah, that she's black. She's not like the like she's not like tan skin where yeah, you're in an area where your skin pigment does change. But no,
Mhm.
she is black. No, she is a black woman.
Exactly. And it's like, even if you still don't believe it, literally just look at the character Jackie Tristan later arcs of like the Bleach anime. So it's like, that is literally just a black woman. Her name is Jackie Tristan. I don't know what else.
You literally also later on, at least in the new, at least in the like you're probably gonna see him eventually in the anime, but like Yoichi has a brother. Her brother's also black, so it's like, nah, man, this
Yeah.
isn't a random moment of oh well, no, she's not. It's like no, her brother also has the same skin tone, dude. No, that's not a that she is like you. I don't know why is they're like so adamant not to think about it, but I don't know. It's just it's hard for them to be like, oh yeah, she's black. I don't get it. It
She's stuck that way, bro.
they're like, oh, everyone else, yeah, there's either black or tan, but no, Yorichi, no, we'll fight about that. It's like, why are you gonna fight about that?
Yeah.
She even turns
She's
into a
just black.
black. She even turns into a black cat, and then turns into a black woman. It writes itself. It's like, nah, she's not black, even though she turned into a black cat, and her skin's pretty dark. Nah.
Like, come on, y'all. Y'all not this stupid or this stubborn. Or maybe you are this stupid and stubborn, but like, it's literal facts. Come on, man.
It's like, nah, like she is black, and you're just gonna have to deal with that.
Oh yeah. In fact, it's kind of funny because like in time, I'm working on a video black and dark skinned anime characters. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, here's the difference. They exist, and we're gonna talk about it.
I talk about like the anime stuff. I remember. Do you remember when America got her English dub voice actor and the shit show that happened with that?
Oh, it didn't just stop with her. This was a lot of recent times. It's like when like literally Mirko's voice actor, the voice actor for Nagatoro, and even this recent voice actress. I don't know who she was. Basically, she got attacked, and that's literally why so many people came up with the term night skins.
Oh, that
So
was the
yeah,
word I was looking for. Cause I remember we talked about it on
yeah.
the podcast. I was like, "What was that cool word he said to me?" That was like, "It's supposed to be racist, but it sounds pretty cool." Oh, well, it was
Yeah,
night skin.
light skin.
But the America one was wild to me because there was people being like, "Oh, she doesn't sound black," and I'm like, "What the actual fuck is
What
going
black
on?
might be?
What does black sound like to you?" Tell me real quick, please, please. It was actually wild to me that I also saw both white and black people doing it, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What is
Come
happening?
on, y'all. Y'all know better than this. I know Boondocks did a rough damage to how y'all view niggas. This is just sad.
That's still sad how Boondocks was legitimately satire, like had some it was supposed to be satire and like explain to you and make jokes of this stuff, and people took it seriously. Or in some people's cases, think it's okay to say the N word. If they did a whole episode about that.
Yeah,
But
like
yeah,
what?
it's I was like, this voice actress is probably like I heard her before. I'm like, oh yeah, she's fine. This voice kind of fits her character, but she'll be a little more like,
Yeah.
and she hasn't been as aggressive yet. Like, hopefully this new season she'll show her real top because Berica's in it so much. But
Oh yeah.
like the idea of saying, oh, she doesn't sound black, drove me up the wall. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? You guys wanted to have a black voice actress. They got a black voice actress. Why are you mad?
I don't. I feel for these voice actors because I know a lot of them are getting paid well and everything, but it's like, damn. I'd hate that. I hate that one day if I ever make it big as a voice actor. It's like, oh hey, here's the new voice of Piccolo, and it's me, and it's just like quote retweets of like, what do you, yo, how come you turn Piccolo into a Saiyan? And then there's just a Frieza caption over it. Mm.
Hey man, Frieza gets a pass now because Frieza has the N-word pass now because Black
Black.
Frieza.
The internet's been having too much of a good time with that.
I was like, Frieza, that's our word,
um,
Frieza. Yes, it is.
yo,
Presents the black card. He's like, oh no.
they should have never gave Frieza the N-word pass, the permanent N-word pass.
But I remember also that happened. Similar thing happened to the actor who's playing Arlong in One Piece live action, where people were upset by that. Like, oh, you're making it racist. That man came out with a full chest. He said it in a nice way. That here's how he said it, but I'm not gonna say it in a nice way. He pretty much told him, "Go fuck yourself. I like this character. This is why I'm doing this."
Yeah,
Because like,
as he should.
why are you playing Arlong? You're being like, this is racist. Why are they making the black man play Arlong? And it's like, how, did you just relate fishmen to black people? Like, I get it, fishmen are treated poorly, but I don't think that anyone's related to black people, Mike. that's
Especially when there's literal black people in One Piece.
that's kind of
like,
weird, bro.
like y'all, I'm sorry to tell you this. There's a reason why Usopp is played by a black man, and that threw me off because like there was a short. This was really, but I saw it myself where people were really getting mad over like casting of One Piece, not because they were bad, but for the simple fact that Usopp was black.
But the funny thing is, way before the casting, Oda actually told people, "Oh, here's where everyone would come if they were real people. Here's all the nationalities they would be." And Usopp
Yeah,
was African.
yeah. Usopp was literally African. I saw that myself. I read that myself, and I'm just like, bruh, he's literally niggas. You do not see? Do you not see the curly hair?
He's just he's just super light skinned.
Like, I just
I was so confused. I was like, huh. Didn't know that. Huh.
where it's like where do y'all see these things? And it's kind of like when I had to explain to everyone about like actual nationalities of like the One Piece characters, mostly the Straw Hats. It's like, guys, Oda said it himself. This is where all of them are from, and I'm pretty sure we're like the only Japanese guy before. Ironically enough.
Oh, you cut out there, but I think I know what you said. You were gonna say Zoro, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was saying like how the only Japanese guy was Jinbei and everything.
Actually, I thought it was Zoro too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just Zoro. Yeah, it was just Zoro and Jinbei.
Okay.
They're the only Japanese guys there.
Yeah. I know Frankie's the only American. I think Chopper was Russian or German. I can't remember which one.
Oh no, no. Nico Robin was Russian, and like apparently, yeah, Chopper's Canadian, which
Okay, Chopper.
kind of makes
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And then
this
Sanji was French, and I'm like, you know what? That makes sense.
too much sense actually.
Like everyone else,
This
I
is
was like,
little.
it was, but still, like the idea of people really getting mad about certain things. It's like, nah, man, this is fine. Like I hope the design for online looks well, and they don't. But other than that, I'm like, no, he probably plays good. And if the fact he likes the
Mhm.
character beforehand, that makes it even better.
Oh yeah. Also, actually, keep talking because I'll be right back.
Yeah, but no, like when it comes to like the idea of like voice acting and stuff like that, I'm more on the basis of like if they can voice it, they can voice it. Like I would say, I would 100% prefer if they make sure they voice like the people of their race and stuff like that. But like at times, sometimes it can work because I know. I'll be honest to God, like if I was an anime character, like at most the only voice actor I would want playing me would be Johnny Young Bosch because I like his voice, and I'm like, if they're like, hey, we will make an anime of your life, I'm like, Johnny Young Bosch has the voice of me. Like what? Johnny Young Bosch. No deal if it's not him. That's the only one I want voice in my voice because his voice is too. It's way cooler than mine. And if I had a voice to change, it would be his. Because damn, that
Look,
voice is nice.
I probably want Zeno Robinson to if I had to choose between Barry White and Zeno Robinson, I probably have to.
Yeah, but because also I remember the voice actor for Samurai Jack is a black dude, and I'm like, bro, I don't want anyone replacing him. I'm sorry, everyone else. I'm sorry, everyone else who voices him would be ass. I can't. He's Samurai Jack with the only voice. Samurai Jack's voice is perfect. Same with the current voice actor of Kratos. I'm like, I actually didn't know if Kratos' voice was different until I found out like way later, and then he was played by a black man. I'm like, bro, you make a good ass Kratos. Because sometimes, yeah, like there are times where someone of a different race can still play a character and they can do it great. You'd be surprised. Because yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I think they should make sure they should try to get people of the particular races, ethnicities to voice these characters. But at the same time, I'm also based on the idea of if they can't voice it, then you're just gonna have to get a voice actor who can. Like if they just suck, like I'd much rather hire someone who's good at it than some just because I'm like trying to fit everyone into something. Because yeah, if they sound bad and they do terrible, and we keep trying, I'm like, bro, I can't. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll feel bad. I'm sorry, but if the new voice actor does well, I'm like, well, we got what we needed. They're doing good. But still, just I still don't like how people get like so up in arms about certain voice actors. Like especially when it comes to the race, because it still makes no sense to me how Mariko's voice actress was treated so poorly, especially like I said by black people too. And it was so crazy. It's like why? What do you mean by she's not black enough? Like why does she not sound black enough? Like that makes no sense to me. Because they even introduced a black character in the anime, and he doesn't have a like. He doesn't sound stereotypical. I don't know what you want. Like, he just sounds like a dude. All he is black. Like I would like to ask like I would even like to ask those black people like what does the black voice sound like to you? Like for real, for real. Like is it like what is it? Like do I not sound like a black person? Mind you, those people probably would because if they're like America doesn't sound like, and I'm almost certain they'd be like, nah, you sound too white, and I'm like, what do you mean? By I sound too white? Like we can shit, we can like compare skin tone because I'm pretty sure I'm dark. Like I'm black. I'm not sure. I like. Do you want me to show you my black my black pass? Like I got it. Like, I go to the annual cookout, annual barbecue. Like, come on, man. Like, jeez. I I haven't heard about the other ones. But that American one is still the biggest one I know of. That was like the worst one I think. At least I've seen. When Big brought the other ones, I haven't seen those other ones. I well maybe I heard about the Yuzaki one, but I'm not sure how that one. I'm not. Was it black woman voicing the main character? I can't remember. Like, there's like a little bit of an image of like what I think happened, but I think I was like, oh, that's stupid, and just kept scrolling after reading the comments and being like, these people are stupid. Hopefully, I'll ask when he comes back. I'll ask him what it was because I can't remember how bad if it was either a because I don't think there's any black characters in that series. Because I know it takes place strictly in just Japan. Like, but, oh god. Actually, now I think about that. That makes sense why that Discord came back because people always want to get into arguments about that series for some reason. They want to die on their heel of if you like that series, you're a bad person, or just show any slight interest in it.
I think it's hard for me to express my opinions
What?
on certain shows without getting like hate for it. Like even if I say like it's okay, like I don't know. So I can't say nothing about He-Man at all.
Bro, man, that. What was the other thing you? What was the other thing you brought up? It was like when you said I know I said America, but you said there's two other instances. You know the word I'm trying to use that happened.
Oh yeah, instances and everything. Well, there was one with Nagatoro.
Oh, that's what it was. It wasn't Uzagi-chan. It was Nagatoro. That's the way I was trying to remember. Because I think the reason why I got confused is because Nagatoro also had the same thing happen when people got mad.
Nagatoro had the same problem times 10. Because, like...
I think I didn't see it as much.
Oh, yeah. The problem with, like, Nagatoro was that it wasn't that... No, Nagatoro had the controversial issue of being voiced by a black woman. Because, you know, God forbid we voice these characters.
Yeah.
And they literally started, like, you know, having an... they turned Nagatoro into a monkey, you know, tar, and all that stuff. And I'm just like, man, y'all just instantly go to racism when it's all said and done, huh?
I do like the one black artist who took what they were saying about Nagatoro and just ran with it. He's just like, oh, you want him very black? I'll turn her black.
At this point, yeah. And it's like, you know, honestly, when she did that, it sparked whole other interests that got a lot of people. I ain't saying I'm for it. I'm not saying I'm against it. I will say it is very nice.
Yeah.
And I will move on from there.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm not trying to get caught lacking.
Yeah. But it was that I was trying to remember which anime it was. And I was like, okay, so it was Nagatoro. Yes, you're right. It was. I actually only saw it for like a split second. It was like I saw I saw people getting mad, and then it kind of just stopped. At least on my end, I didn't see any more after that.
Oh yeah, this is weird. Whenever there's like, you know, stuff like that going down, here's a controversial anime figure, and it's like, you know, a lot of people be like, oh man, these are just animes made for like, you know, we just have no lives with. There's a very small percentage, but it's definitely there, and it's like, you know, there are people who kind of, I guess it's just a two side on the same coin. There's people who react, and then there's people who just are just the reactors, and they just kind of like, you know, want to start shit, and it's like, damn, none of y'all really winning. You're just there, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just on the base of, oh, it looks interesting. I might watch it, or I might read it. Oh, I'll put it on the list. I just go about my day. I'm like, oh, this doesn't look interesting to me. Oh, I'll go about my day.
Exactly. And it's like, you know, I like some of those anime. Just that.
But yeah, not everything's gonna be made for like everyone.
Oh yeah, it's partially why I just never really got into Uzaki. controversy aside, I watched that anime finally, and I'm like, yeah, this is alright.
What anime was it? Because you cut out a little bit at the
I'm
again.
sorry, it was Uzaki-chan.
Oh, okay, yeah. I plan on just reading it because I'm like, I'll read it when I get the chance. Because right now because I already started. Like I started my dress up darling. I'm like, oh, this shit's actually pretty good. Oh wait.
Oh, it's so good, bro.
Well, I was surprised. That was my first role. That's like first actual like full on not anime like reading slice of life anime. I was like, holy, this is actually pretty good.
Oh yeah, it's like it just hits hard, you know. I like that.
I was like, okay, and then I already, like I said, I've already planned on reading Nagatoro as Izuchi-kan eventually, because I'm like, oh, like they seem interesting. I've seen clips from both, and I'm like, yeah, I'll give these a shot. Like these, like the clips made me interested in reading it. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll watch it. I'll do it. It's still the reading. That's a whole other discussion of just the Twitter Wild West when it came to any of those animes coming. I think my dress up doll, like I didn't see any controversies really surprisingly. It was kind of quiet. At least on my end anyway. I think well during that time I was like purging most of my Twitter anyway. So that might be why I didn't see anything. I'm not sure about anything else though. Cuz I know Nagatoro was pretty chill. But like I said that's probably was like crazy on that end too. Yeah, man. But the idea of still voice acting and stuff, it's a daunting thing if you're black. Like I don't get it. Especially it always confuses me how they get mad about it because I'm like, at this point, if it takes place in Japan, why not just hire all Japanese voice actors in and just make it even more authentic and make you guys happy? Because for some reason people always think, oh, why did he make them like they're white? And I'm like, motherfucker, they're Japanese. They're not white. There's a clear difference between those two statements. You just those are not the same. Those are two different people, two different groups of people. There. That was like I really don't get people on Twitter when it comes to race. It's like actually just social media in general because it's just it's I don't know like people just want to fight when it comes to anything race wise. You introduce a black character, they want to say it's political. You introduced a gay character, they want to say it's political. Like the only time I might agree if it's like what happened with the New Warriors back in Marvel, that was another moment of everyone on Twitter, everyone who was on different sides, all came together and just shitted on it. They're all like, "Get this hot garbage out of here." That was like, when they canceled that. If I'm correct, yeah, they canceled that book. That book didn't even get like any pages. The art was done, but no pages came out. I'm not even sure that book had a cover. I think it might have. But oof, that was a fun time, guy. That was oof.
Honestly, it kind of hurts when, like, I hear people talk about how good anime and manga is, and then that anime and manga they hype up by that same company. Like, there was this one called Ayashimon Shonen tribute
Mm-hmm.
manga and everything about this boy fighting for the Yakuza and everything, or this demon Yakuza, or whatever they call it, the Yakuza. It was good. It had so much promise, and then they dropped that after like 8 issues.
Oh yeah, I hate how bad that's become. I think that's became almost like problematic to a point. Actually, did I like to the point of just anytime a new series starts to get canceled, because in all honesty, what they take is because if that series doesn't get like a English translation also, and then it's only Japanese translation, the sales matter. Well, actually, even then, the sales still matter over Japan before they go to like anywhere else, like the people reading it and
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
Which kind of sucks because I'm like, can you at least give it like a full arc first and see if like people like it? Like, give it like 2, 3 full arcs, and then if they're like, I think like I'll say at least 2. Like, if people don't like it, then be like, hey, you have one more arc, then you're done.
literally said like, "Yo, this ain't doing One Piece. We gotta get this out of here now, yo."
Like, that's the fear every time you read a new manga now is like, hopefully this is good. Hopefully this stays good up in Japan so they don't cancel it.
Yeah. Or
It
like, hopefully they distribute it.
there's only like certain. I think it's like I think Horikoshi's one of the few that I think had like 3 series that have been canceled and eventually he got up there. I think that's the most common thing is like there's a lot of manga who's had their books canceled before they finally hit the one that's like, oh yeah, we like reading this.
Exactly. So, it happens. Like, look at Toriyama, like Dragon Ball. Homie would have just like been stuck doing like Dr. Slump, but it's like, no, I like Kung Fu. Let's see where this goes. And it's been smooth sailing ever since. Well, it's been rocky, but he got that.
Yeah, he's good now. He got what he wanted.
Exactly.
But when it comes to those like other series, though, it's like, oof, you're never sure when the series you're reading is gonna get canceled.
Honestly, and sometimes you got to backpedal from another. It was good, Fire Force, and just to keep it relevant. Sometimes this is nothing. This is not me knocking Fire Force. Just when I heard that it was like a connection, Soul Eater, I was like, oh.
Bro,
okay.
Give me a minute. I'm gonna go on a rant about Fire Force because I liked it, but Jesus Christ, that final bit was like, I'm like, this shit's ass, dude. Because I also didn't like the fact that I saw so many people like, oh, Fire Force is connected to Soul Eater. That's heat. That's cool. This is a good series. I'm like, motherfuckers, I'm pretty sure most of you have not been reading it. Shut up. Most of you motherfuckers have not been reading it. Shut your mouth.
As soon as the older anime or hey yo, wait a minute.
So it's connected to Soul Eater? Cool. It's like, nah, man, it was not cool. I would have been. I thought it was gonna be like how the guy who does Fairy Tail does this, like who did Fairy Tail did his stuff is like in Eden Zero he makes references to it, so you pretty much. But later on, it's kind of like at least I understand it that they're all set in different universes, so they're not like connected. That's how I thought Soul Eater was good. That's all. Fire Force was like, oh, it's just a separate universe. It's gonna probably turn similar, but it's not gonna be the same thing. No, it's just a prequel to it. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. I'm sorry. And the girl Tamika, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, writer. She's trash. She is not a well written character. I'm all for fan service, but Jesus Christ.
This was actual pointless fan service.
Like this is even like at least even Fairy Tail fan service almost made sense. This is just at least those characters. At least they were characters. This character, she's not a character. And even her backstory of, oh, I have this horrible like problem of this happening, and I got picked on and made fun for it. I'm like, I would have felt bad if she was a character.
It's like, girl, I'm sorry, you're not a character. You're a plot device. Not even a good one.
And even at the end, when he's like, I like you like I don't care what anyone says. That chapter about like how etchy and like being lewd and stuff is important. I'm like, I get it. I get it. People are kind of like stuck up about that kind of stuff. I get it. I'm all for it. I'm all for lewd. I'm all for fan service. But guy, you're just doing this out of spite, and I can read it. I'm reading you out of spite, and I'm reading this. I'm reading the spite that you're writing on this page, and it's not working for me. It's like, oh man.
Like, bro, I'm so ready to drop you right now, but you got all these other good characters.
I wanted to drop it, but I'm like, we're in the final arc. I might as well finish. And I
me with my hero right now.
I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, man. This is. Okay, I'm done. I got that out of my system. It's just. Oof.
Trust me, you have no idea how I was so ready to celebrate. Oh my god, he's finally dead, and he comes back.
Bro, we're not gonna get in this one because me and you both have different opinions on Bakugo, brother. This will be a long one, man. Not this one, right?
Yeah. I won't get into it now. All I'll say is I'm so mad.
Alright, bro. So like mad. I say, we're not getting into it, but I'm so happy. we're gonna move on this, brother.
I will save that for another chat.
But
Oh,
but when it came to the idea of doing this, like I said, when it came to doing this, I just wanted to just have someone like another person who was black to talk about these topics with, because I think it's important to talk about. It's just the idea of like what black people can go through when it comes to this kind of shit.
oh yeah, no, no, trust me, it's definitely good to have that conversation.
Because like people might, but it's like mostly through like text or something like that. I'd rather do it like voicing about it, and it was all my online, because like I said, I was in a Discord chat and I started thinking about that. And like I even talked to one of my friends about it, and he talked to me about like talk about it to me, and I also like changed my view on some things. But like it's important. It's like it's one of those things that like anyone should like really talk about sometimes. Like kind of get off your chest if you ever do think about this kind of stuff about fitting in and stuff like that. If you're black or at least of any race, you think like to talk about that shit.
Exactly, it's just like that.
Because like I said, man, Twitter has ah. I actually would like to have seen what Twitter was like when it first started. I like to have been there to see what the golden age was before it turned into whatever this is.
I just, it's so weird because Twitter can be a cesspool, but I know like there are certain who you can have good conversations. Like I remember I was talking with a mutual of mine, and he was kind of feeling a little hopeless about certain things, and I kind of just explained to him like, "Oh yeah, it's bad, but like all things, it'll eventually just fade." And
Yeah,
he's so used to like arguments with people, like he's just not used to just having a genuine conversation about stuff like this. And that's just me. I like to have these conversations, even if I don't always agree. I just want to talk.
yeah,
I'm not here to fight anybody. I don't want to fight people. I do that enough as it is. Well, yeah, I kind of do that enough on Twitter. But I just like, I don't want to just fight the next person I see who I disagree with. I'm just like, hey, why you feel this way? Why are you like this? And please bring an argument and not just say the same thing over and over again and expect me to agree. Sorry, I'm still on my old friends bullshit. But yeah,
or don't be like this
this
Snyder
is
fan I met where I said, "Hey, Snyder's version of Darkseid is ass," and he's like, "Oh, blah blah blah." Like, yeah, it's my opinion, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's your opinion. You liked him. I don't really care. I still think he's badly written." You know what this motherfucker did? Instead of like trying to have an
what?
instead of at least trying to have a discussion, or even I don't even care if you turn into an argument. Well, he kind of did start into an argument, but he sent a picture of a monkey floating in the water, and I'm like, bro, what is this?
Bro.
And you've seen my profile picture. It's a black. It's me. It's like a little, like one of those PQ versions of myself. And I'm like, bro, what is this? It's pretty racist. He's like, no, it's not. It's not racist. Everyone who like the people who I follow who are black are like, dude, this is pretty racist. And that's one of the few times where I've seen him ever open up and say something. I was like, nah, man, that's pretty racist.
Yeah, it's just like that. So it's kind of you want to have this talk, but then it's like as soon as I just you or anything like that, you're just automatically all of a sudden going in defense mode and like, hey yo, here's a racist, non-racist joke here, and just I don't know. I guess it's why it's just
Yeah,
hard to just talk to people like that. And yeah, I agree with you. I just don't like your cut at all. I don't like it.
I've I actually like the original movie more because I'm like, at
Yo,
least Superman was my Superman. He's smiling. He's having a good time. He's happy to be here. He's with his friends, and I'm like, this is all I wanted. This is all I wanted out of my Superman. Just chipper. Like at the end when he's like, well, Flash and him are gonna race. I'm like, yeah, this isn't written by Snyder. This makes me feel happy.
uh,
And the Snyder
I
cut.
get it. I try. Oh yeah, no, like I get it because like
Yeah,
with the original, the original thing, I really like how it does try to add that little like charm to it, where it's just like, it's wonky at times. I can honestly say, hey, I stayed up for this movie. I didn't feel like I wasted like 5 hours watching what could have just been made into like three, or, a series that you could have done.
You
But
know, like long
that,
spanning movies of each character so we can know them.
yeah. And look, I get what they're trying to do, but it's like, Snyder, buddy, don't make a 4-hour movie. I'm pretty sure you didn't have to do all.
Nah,
Some of them
Snyder.
weren't even that connected.
I would say none of them are because it was just it it I still never get how there are like I'm on the basis of if you like something that's fine I might but I'm also on the basis of I am confused how there are so many Snyder fans I see like it might be a small group but I still see too many to be a small group.
I have seen way too many Snyder cultists act out. I have seen them literally go insane and literally attack actors, directors who, ironically enough, Zack Snyder is cool with, and everybody else is just like, "Oh man, Zack Snyder for life, baby. Let's go."
When it
And
comes
just
to like
ruining the fun for everybody.
that's so weird to me because when it comes to like every other group of fandoms and stuff like that, you're gonna see the toxic one, but you're also gonna see the good ones. I have yet to meet a good Snyder fan. I have yet to meet one.
I've literally only known one, and it's one of my mutuals, because he's kind of just casual about everything he does or likes, for that matter. But even he can tell you right off the bat, yeah, no, I don't like those guys.
Because Jesus Christ, man, those movies are just the Snyder movies. Oh my god, that's a whole nother topic. That's another hour. That's another 2 hours of a topic of jeez. But would it? God, I
Simulcast the Snyder cut.
bro, that Snyder. I can't. Like, I told my friend this when I saw people praising that movie, even some mutuals. I was like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it, Jake. I don't get it. Am I going crazy? Am I insane? Like, I don't get it. This movie's ass. I don't get.
I just couldn't get behind it. Like I said, I watched it once, and I could honestly say I'm never going to watch that again, ever.
Me and my friend watched it, and it was just like the start of the movie was already bad, but it's just like what 5 minutes of just Bruce Wayne in the mountains riding on his horse, and I'm like, this is pretty boring. Can we just get to some scenes, please? And then when they made Wonder Woman kill people, I'm like, Wonder Woman doesn't kill people. She tries not to, at least, or at least if she does, it's like war reasons, not just straight up regular crooks.
Wonder Woman just going off the deep end. Like, I get it. I've seen Wonder Woman kill as a last resort, if anything. But even then, it's like, she understands, like, oh yeah, things don't work like how it is at Themyscira. These are people. Bruh.
Well, like if you compare the Snyder cut to the original movie, she like it's like one thing you can tell the whole area is bright, like it's colorful, like everything's bright, and she beats the
But you
guys without killing
rarely...
them.
Yeah. I I just can't do it. I like, here's the thing, like the moments where the movie is like everything else, I'm just like, Cyborg is boring, the Flash is just meh, Batman is Batmaning, and Wonder Woman and Superman, I don't even care about Superman in this movie, dog. I ain't going.
And even then, Snyder cut kind of ruined Superman by being like, "No, it's my Superman." You know, the depressed one, the one who people see as God, and he's sad about it. And I'm like, Snyder, shut the fuck up, please.
Bro, get it. You want to make Superman Jesus. Okay.
But no one else likes that. Everyone wants cartoon or comic like Superman. Not like the people who want AG depressed Superman is a very small minority of people compared to everyone else who wants, hope Superman.
A lot of folks really saw Injustice Superman and were like, yeah, that's what.
Like Injustice Superman's dumb though.
It's dumb.
Like the
It's kind of whack.
concept. The concept. Here's the problem with Injustice Superman. just to make it just really just be like, nah, I'm ruling the world, and then that's it.
Yeah,
There's no fighting. There's no like, oh, he'll kill us. Like he'll kill us straight up.
exactly. It's literally do as I say or fall.
It's like,
I just can't get behind it, bro. I'm sorry.
y-
Clark's a good guy. He's a farm boy raised by a good, happy family, just trying to get by and wants to just know what it means. That's all he wants.
like he wants to
Live his
fit
best
in.
life.
That's it. That's his whole theme. Is that he wants to fit in. He wants to be loved. That's it. There's no God complex. There's nothing. There's no. He wants like people see him as God. He's sad about it. No, he did his whole thing is fitting in. He wants to be with humans. There's
Mm-hmm.
yeah, God, that's Snyder, man. If it's true that like when he made that Watchmen movie and like the creator straight up told him it was bad. If that's a true statement, I'm like, bro, if that's a true statement, you probably should have quit Superman movies after that. Because I know if my hero
Right.
told me what I made based on his property is bad, I'm like, yeah, I'm out. I'm done.
It's like, well, know what I'm not doing ever again.
Like I'd be like, nah, man, I'm good.
Oh yeah, no, because it's like, well, like TLDR about Alan Moore, he does not like any other adaptation of Watchmen. Same with like the Killing Joke. He said with his full chest, man, I kind of fucked up when I did that Batman. I like the '60s Batman, anyways.
Well, Killing Joke
uh,
Adaptation would have been better if they didn't have the. Actually, I haven't watched it because I didn't want to see the Batman Batgirl thing, and I'm like, God damn it, Bruce Tim,
oh,
why do you keep forcing this? No one wants this.
you alright. You already know. I don't know why Bruce Tim keeps doing this. Like, buddy, I love your artwork. I love the characters you've made. Don't ever do this though. Please stop it.
You have made a good cartoon, but Jesus Christ. If this was rated, if this show came out rated M, people probably be feeling a little different about that. About this. It
It
probably would be
just should.
he'd be like, "Oh yeah, Batman animated series. That's a pretty good series. That was the first rated MA Batman movie. That's pretty good. Except for the Batgirl Batman thing, that was pretty weird. That would just pretty much be every sentence.
Yeah. Ugh. I'm so. Sometimes it's like. Sometimes there's a reason why certain people need restrictions. Because, God forbid, what would have happened if that Batman series did get an M rating instead.
As I've said with people, I'm like, because I know one artist I follow says he wouldn't want like an editor, but I'm like, bro, you need an editor. I'm sorry, editors are actually important because editors will restrain you when you go too far.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I'll tell you right. That stop it.
Like, don't get me wrong. Sometimes editors suck because they can control you a little bit too much and take away
Mm-hmm.
ideas you have. Because I get that, but at the same time, you need them. They're like a double-edged sword where you they suck, but you need them.
Oh yeah. Especially in writing.
Because I still remember hearing how Horikoshi. I think it was an interview where he said he wanted to do more things with Mina, but his editor was like, "Nah, man, you can't." And I'm like, "Bruh, that sucks, bro." He's like, "That's why." I think he even said that. I think he's been saying that's his favorite character. I'm like, "Yes." When your editor's like, "Yeah, I know you want to do more stuff with your favorite character, but you got time limit and you got and the people you need to care about, which is our bosses." So nah,
Um,
and I'm like, oof,
God.
oh man,
Some 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 things just need to just be left alone. Listen. Keep your idea for something else. Not this though, cuz. Not this.
yeah, because like. I mean, I'll say like yeah, I say like editors are important though, but at the same time, they can just suck.
Especially if you're a manga. Especially if you have an editor for a manga. I feel bad for you.
I think it's both sides now. I think it's even westerns is like it's bad because of how many times they either don't have that many, or they're just bad.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's just I think just comic industry in general, both manga and anime. I think just everything, manga, comics, manhwa. I think
Hmm.
just having an editor will be a good and bad thing for you.
It's a 50-50 depending on your editor.
And because you'll have some maybe a good heated idea, and he'd be like, "No, I can't do that." And you'll have a bad idea, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's good."
Mm-hmm.
Or you have a good idea, but yeah, that's good. You have a bad idea, like, nah, put that in the back.
Yup.
Because yeah, you probably hear something like, "Oh yeah, this was my idea," but my editor told me no, and he'd be like, "Yeah, your editor told you right." Oof.
Like, bro, I need somebody to tell me no sometimes. Or give me enough critiques where it's like, hey, what can I do to improve and or just not have or get rid of in my story?
Yeah,
Sometimes that's just what you need.
I do have one other thing. 'Cause I remember you made a video about it. But when
Hmm.
you were talking about like black, like being black, and like people asking you to do static, like how did that feel about you and stuff like that?
Like how what again? I'm sorry, you cut out.
Oh, I remember a while back you were, I think, yeah, you did make a video about like like Static Shock and stuff like that, and like being black and stuff like that. But I think you were doing it more in the sense of like people wanting you to do it. You're like,
Yeah, because here's the thing. Me and a lot of my home talking about cartoons and stuff.
yeah,
We want to talk about a lot of these things. We want to talk about all types of shows. Not all of them needs to be black though, because
yeah.
it's like everybody's always saying, "Hey, you're black. You should talk about this show that just so happens to have a black protagonist." And it's like, look, if it's interesting, I'll definitely talk about it. And I love Static Shock, but right now I got other things I want to talk about, and there's other people who obviously talk about it.
Like there's
But
plenty of videos already.
exactly. But unfortunately, everybody's getting harassed to just talk about Static Shock. What was it like for you? What was this like for you? Like all my friends are just saying like we're so tired of doing this. So I'm just like, well, might as well make a video about that. And the whole joke was basically, hey, let me make this authentic Static Shock review that nobody's gonna see coming outside of the thumbnail. And then just be like, shut the fuck up about Static Shock. We want to talk about everything else but Static Shock. Because honestly, yeah, I would love to talk about the series, but what would I really bring to the table unless I'm talking about the comics? And even then, somebody else did that too. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, most I think comics would be at least fair enough because like I don't see enough comic ones.
Yeah,
At most that'd be the only feral, but even then it's like, you know what, talk about it? Don't have to talk about it.
exactly. Like
I'd
there's
be
other
like,
things we want.
I'd
You
just be
shouldn't
like,
feel obligated because you're black.
yeah. I'd just be like, here's a link to some Amazon comics, or here's a website you can read comics for free. There you go, read some static
Hmm.
comics yourself, man, dude.
Exactly. Do it. Maybe have your own opinion on it. Just do that.
Yeah, man, it's not that hard. But that does roll back around to like how like I just brought up how like being black and you have to cosplay as black characters. It's just for some reason people think if you're black you have to do certain black things.
Exactly. And it's like, listen, I love a lot of black because there's a lot that I just and I do want to like, either talk about it or showcase to certain people, but come on, man. There's also cool characters outside of how they look like to me or all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like still I'm still trying to like work on like a Fist of the North Star video as we speak. So, let me talk about Kenshiro real quick. Ugh,
Hey, yeah,
hate
man.
it. This is hated sometimes, man.
Like
Ugh.
I've never at least video wise I've ever experienced that. Like at most, like I said, I experienced the cosplay thing of being like I cosplayed as the Homestuck character, and I played one of the characters,
Hmm.
and I remember I took a picture of one other guy, and he made like a thing to me. I can't remember if it was a joke or something, but it was I all I could remember was I was very obvious he didn't see me as the same cosplay as him, and I was like, oh, okay. Actually, that's a topic we can talk about real fast. Is the fact of when it came to like the Homestuck series, that was a big rampant problem of people like because the kids they're white but not like white. They're like the
Oh,
color, the crayon color,
yeah.
or the background of like a random Word document is something like white. Like they're not actually a pigment. Like not actually like skin tone. And people always fight about, oh, they have to be white because of this. Like, nah, they actually don't have a skin tone. Like you can make them any race you want. But people really don't like that, especially when you turn them black.
It's I swear. The topic of like, you have to certain race or whatever just to like cosplay as each character. Yeah, I don't know where that says in the rule book, but I'm pretty sure it said that.
Like,
So
there isn't. It's just cosplay as you want to cosplay.
it's like, listen, I'm not gonna feel weird if somebody wants to dress up as. However, if I see your ass putting on blackface dresses,
That's what it's a problem. That's what it's a problem.
That's hella unnecessary, bro.
That's why I'm like, yeah, you can dress up as Miles. I don't care. Just don't be weird about it.
Like God, the amount of times I've seen so many people want to use the, what if Black Panther was this, what Black Panther was that. You could dress up as the guy, but just don't do that. It's like somebody doing the whole Mr. Popo thing, and I don't even want to get into that.
I still found it wild when I saw that one art try to justify why like race swapping's bad is when they made Black Panther white. But I'm like, here's the problem with your statement. Black Panther's race is very important to the character because he's African and runs the African like civilization of black people. How would it feel if it was a guy white? How would it feel? Very different.
Exactly, and it's like literally, I remember some kept like trying to justify that with like another like, race swap art, and I'm just like, wow, you're really using the same old argument from like 2016, aren't you, buddy? And he's like, it's not an argument, it's a statement, and you're just triggered. And I'm just like, am I why would I be triggered at what's pretty much a shit post at this point? I'm just saying you just sound stupid, dog. I'm not even mad.
Like Storm's race is a part of her character. Like she comes from Africa. Like there's a whole history behind that.
And it's like that. And I don't know if you know, but the funniest thing about that iconic white Black Panther art piece, that came from the same motherfucker that did that whole monkey Nessa from
Really?
Pokemon. Yeah.
I always thought that was just I always thought the Black Panther one was commissioned, but no, that was actually serious then.
Yep.
Well, even then, if someone did a commission of that, they're crazy anyway. So
it was from the same artist, and they both tried to prove that point, and I'm just like, man, you have some really great arts. Why are you so all that talent for bullshit?
that happens sometimes. That happens a lot for some reason. It's more than It's more than you think for some reason. I don't know why. Like the one artist I used to follow, I think I still follow him on Instagram. Actually, no, I still do follow him, but I just don't follow the person who it was based off of because that person eventually got weird and crazy. Is when, cause I think they're dating. I don't know, but all I remember was them saying "F me with your hard art dick," and I was just like, "Whoa, what is this? This is too much." And every black artist was like, "Bro, what the fuck is this?"
Huh?
Because
beg your pardon.
I think I think at the time they were dating. I'm not sure if they're still dating, but even then it was like, nah, man, nah. If I had a girl like that or any significant other, I'm like, what did he just call me?
Yeah, it's like, bro, I don't know about you, but that would not be me.
I'm like, nah. We already have that issue enough with fetishization, my guy.
It's one of the reasons I already deal with that enough as it. It's
I
probably gonna lead to my next topic in a bit, but yeah.
I still remember the I'm not sure if you've seen it, but I remember me and my friends were exploring one day, like online, and I don't know what came to the topic, but we talked about like those crazy, like there's actually like a real, I think it's like a crazy organization of women who like are like, oh, we strictly want to be fucked by black men. And you're like, what? But they're married. I'm like, what? And they have like ankle bracelets that represent their groups, and I'm like, bro, no. Bro, no. I'm good.
every 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 day. I know I make the joke, but it's like it's stuff like this and Jordan Peele's Get Out, which kind of just told me, man, no more white women, y'all. I'm sorry, I just can't do it.
I
I
mean, hey,
can't
listen,
do it.
I'm all for different races. I'm all for white women, but I'm gonna be shady a little. I'm not gonna be not shady. I'm gonna be a little bit suspicious. First off, I might be a little bit looking around like you're not gonna trick me, are you? You're good, right?
It's like if she pulls up to me asking me about like body type and everything, and it's not genuine compliments, then I'm just gonna head out and be like, I
I mean,
peace.
I had one girl say my voice sounded white. Never spoke to me again, and I was like, good. I'm happy you never spoke to me again. I'm fine with that.
Show no.
Because that conversation probably would have been awkward the rest of the time.
Oh my gosh.
Because she wanted a straight up ghetto black man who has the right correct voice for her, and I'm like,
Please.
gee, I dodged the bullet.
Sometimes that's all we can do. Because I swear, the amount of times I've just come across women who like I thought liked me for me, and they just like the idea of me, and I'm sorry, I cannot fill your weird Shaka Zulu fantasies that you've always wanted. So, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not T'Challa. I'm not Luke Cage. No, stop it.
like, oh, I'm good, ma'am. You don't have to look at me like that. I'm just gonna go about my day and
I'm
block
back to
this
watching
memory
TV.
away.
uh, and then I go back into the house and not leave for like 3 days till I get over it.
You just open the blinds to make sure they're gone and just close them.
Literally, just a flock of white women like those like the like those like seagulls from Finding Nemo.
Oh, instead of saying mine, they say black.
Yes, I'm like, nope.
Nah,
Still where's the plan?
I
Gotta
don't
wait
know.
out for another couple days.
I don't know why, man. That was a weird one. That was a weird one.
Fetishization is not good.
It's not. It is not.
Just, I hated it.
It's one of those like, why did this happen? Why did this happen
Why
to
did,
us?
why did this happen to me specifically? I did nothing wrong.
I've never, like I said, other than that one girl, I never. At least I think I never had it.
Mm.
But other than that, I've been lucky. But like the idea of you having it more than once, I'm like, oh, that's, oh man, I couldn't because I wouldn't like that. I'd be like, oh, you have to like me for me, not for
Well,
because I'm of this race.
it's just gross, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It's just
It is
uh,
very, very gross.
mm,
It
I
is.
just I would not wish that on my worst enemy. A friend of mine asked me if I had to being fetishized over race or like a whole like racism like thing. I'm just like or like racism sex or whatever they're into. I just said with my full chest. Yeah, I'm probably going to bite the bullet. I
I'm,
just couldn't do it either. It's too gross.
I'm like, nah, man, nah, nah, nah. This is too much. This is too much nonsense for me. The idea of just that happening.
God,
You might
I
as well,
can't with people like that at all.
I don't know, man. It is weird
Right?
because it's just the idea of, especially the ones who do say the hard R. It's like, bro, what?
Yo, I'll never forget stuff like of like oh, race was porn, and I'm just like, somebody gets off to this. I just can't.
I do remember I was watching something, and I was like, And then she said, "Your hard art." I was like, "Oh, what? Oh, what? Boss, I'm out. I'm out. Nope, 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 nope. This is ruined. Everything's ruined today. Mood, the vibe is gone.
And it's like, and I go, okay.
The vibe died. I'm like, woman, this woman killed my vibe so quickly. That's never. That's like, that's like, oh, go back to doing
Damn.
what I was doing before this.
It was like, damn, and I thought Kitty Pryde saying N-word.
Yeah, you cut out really bad that time.
I was saying, like, you know, and I thought Kitty Pryde saying the hard R in the comics was wild.
That I didn't know she said it hard. I thought she just said the regular one.
She said with her full
Cause
chest. Just to,
I remember why she said it, but I didn't know it was the hard R version.
oh yeah, no, someone just thought like, yo, I'm gonna be a little bit progressive and just straight up had Kitty Pryde be like, it's like, you know, like say to a black man, you know, who was like, stand these muties, and Kitty Pryde's like, well, what if I said I couldn't stand these niggers?
I'm like, bro, you could have just said just have her say N word or just say the soft version, not that hard. 'Cause I know
The
Kitty
sad
was
thing
trying
is,
to make a point, but that's like you didn't do it in the right way.
the sad thing is, she said it canonically. Kitty Pryde has said the N word twice.
Twice?
Yes.
Oh, poor Kitty. She didn't deserve that.
I'm telling you, I don't care what those old school comics. Yeah, there's a reason why sometimes they gotta rewrite.
Oof, that's a
Jesus.
yes. Actually, that's one thing I brought up with someone. I'm like, bro, I would hate to be black and be and be a mutant at the same time because you're like, all right, which racial slur you're gonna throw at me today? Which one? Like, come on, like, is it gonna be a fusion of the both? That'd be new. Which one? Which one? Was it gonna be mutant? You gonna be the inward? Like, which one?
What like what type of racism? What type of racism are we getting? Ugh.
I would much rather you call me mutant because that feels less bad. But Jesus Christ, do not call me the other one, or I will prove why they call us mutants.
God. I swear sometimes reading that stuff is a trip.
Oof, that's a. Oh, poor Kitty. She didn't. Why did they use Kitty of all characters? Why did he use the Jewish character of all people? To do...
Why could y'all just do it to Jean Grey? I wouldn't even be mad. I probably expect it.
Or Scott? Why Scott? Like Scott, like just do it. Let Scott do it. God damn, at least Scott would do it. It almost makes sense because he's a
We
dumbass.
already clown on this man, so why not?
He's a dumbass sometimes. Why not just do Scott? The
Damn.
man
At least
literally left his wife and kid, to be with the woman who came back to life.
Jesus.
Just do Scott, not Kitty. Kitty's like a nice person.
She's so sweet. Damn.
It's like,
All I can imagine is watching Evolution, Kitty Pryde just dropping the N-bomb out of nowhere.
bro, I'm like, Logan would be like, what the fuck? What the fuck did you say, Kitty? Holy
Why would you say that?
You can't say that, Kitty. Storm's not around. Thank God Storm's not around. Jesus Christ, Kitty.
Yeah, girl.
Even back then, he'd be like, Kitty, what the fuck? I'm like, I hate humans, but I'm not racist. Jesus Christ.
Ugh.
Well, I mean, I kind of am. I hate all humans, but I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm not gonna slur them.
Comics are weird.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Alright. Do you have anything else last to say before I say we might end this off soon?
I guess all I can really say is, y'all be your best selves, no matter what. Just be your most authentic selves, no matter who's looking. Don't let anybody tell you how you should act and how you should be. Unless you're being a dick, then you should probably stop that. But other than that, just be yourself. And Be your best self, I guess. No, that's about it.
Good way to end this off. If you want to find Big Bro, you can just look down below at the links. I linked his YouTube and Twitter. He makes some pretty good videos. He has a pretty good Twitter. Go follow him there, my guys and girls. I was trying to end it off. Yeah, man. But thank you again for coming on. Maybe next time we might talk about like do the interview one maybe or something else. I don't know. Like I've been thinking about me and you doing gatekeeping talk because Jesus Christ, we probably go on that one for a while.
That gatekeeping talk. That's gonna be fun actually.
Gatekeeping shit. We'll do that another time. But all right, good night everyone.